Nova Scotia's EMO asked to use the hall as a registration centre for residents of Portapique who had fled their homes.
An
RCMP officer was posted here in a cruiser. By this time, police were on the hunt for the shooter, who they knew was impersonating a police officer. At 10:30 a.m., 2 RCMP officers fired multiple shots outside the hall. Sources have told CTV News the officers thought they were firing at the suspect when it was in fact a fellow Mountie.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Why don't you get yourself some turned-down collars, Poirot? They're much more the thing, you know.
The thing, Hastings? Do you think Poirot concerns himself with mere thingness?
No. No, I see that.
The turned-down collar is the first symptom of decay of the grey cells.
You know, I just think if people keep pushing, I can't, first of all, thank enough all of the hard work. There's 3 fellow YouTubers who are working very, very hard with me on this one. Rage in the Cage, Steve LTT, and Just My Stupid Opinion. Just plugging them, sorry. But they are fantastic guys, really been busting their humps here. And, you know, stepping up to the plate, because there's a certain amount of risk saying certain things. And also, likewise, all of the people who are volunteering information and time, which is, like I said, over on the Discord or sending me anonymously information, it is fantastic.
All right. Howdy. Steve in the house.
We are here.
Hopefully there's no feedback. People, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll put on silly earphones. I did finally find them. Doesn't go with the hair.
I can hear you good.
Huh?
I said I can hear you good.
All right. So the RCMP kindly gave a big heads up to the families, of course, and said that the warrants will be dumped momentarily, and then they came out. So there's lots of stories right now. I'm feeling so far behind, but perhaps somebody wants to send me a list of things they want covered or whatever. We can go through at some point, but I thought I'd try and read through this warrant, you know, and we can all talk about it. There's also obviously the Discord. Maybe we can try and do that too. I don't know. There's Steve's good at this stuff.
Yeah.
So
good when I'm in front of my computer.
The voice channels here, if somebody wants to hop down there, we a little bit later, we can try and get some people in there so we can get some discussion going. Tried that last time. Nobody wanted to come along. I don't know. Maybe they don't like the company or something.
We're scary.
Bad company. You're scary. Beth. Mark. Beth. Not that Beth. Thank you. Good. Living in Nova Scotia. Looking for answers. I love the name. Loretta. Bush baby. Nova Scotia citizen. Nosy Scotian. I like that. Nosy Scotian. People were creative with their names.
Yes, they are.
Are you going to read it, Steve, or who's reading?
I can read if you want, I suppose.
Well, you probably have a better, sexier voice or something. I think we can skip down to the part, page 5 or whatever, right? Probably, because most of that stuff is just kind of junk. The same junk that just says that Angela was CFSEU biker.
There was one thing that I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen this before. Maybe I'm missing it. But on page 1, the very bottom, the very last line, it says documents related to planning mass murder events.
Sorry, which one?
On page 1, the very, very last line, letter F.
Okay, let's get up there. Bing. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Documents related to planning mass murder events. Okay. I'd be interested to see where the narrative goes on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's in the house. I'm not. Linda McDonald. I was just talking about you. Would it be possible that you could send me an email, please? So who you want to start off?
We can start on page 5.
Okay. Planning of that is a very good point. Yeah. Where's the narrative going to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And
So
I
guess
will
we'll
try
start
and
at number 6.
Number 6?
Number 6, I guess that's really where it fires off.
Yes. Right. Sorry. Page 5. Well, they got the number here. I think that's just the cover sheet. Those numbers don't often line up.
Yeah.
And of course, they make these documents. I'm going to try and run them all through OCR and get them uploaded and stuff. I just don't want the cloud getting hacked. That's the issue why I haven't done it so far. And plus, I'm an idiot. So if I run it through OCR, that'll make it searchable. You don't need to laugh. Okay. Okay. You can take care of it then. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll see it in a couple of years then if it's up to me. My time is just,
I'm about
you
as
have the time
speedy as the
available.
RCMP here. So
I think you're still speedier.
yes, Linda, I would appreciate it if you sent me an email. Same Linda, I believe, right? You have emailed me before. Nova Scotia guy. Hello, folks. Hey, folks. Lisa Dean, Chiang Love, Ms. Fox. Okay. And of course, our friend Paul. Now, we could do it like, I don't know, tag team. I'll go with 6.
Yeah, sure.
On the night of April 18th, 2020, Lisa Banfield, Gabriel Wortman were at their property at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia, the warehouse, celebrating their 19th anniversary. During the evening, an argument ensued between Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman, which resulted in Lisa Banfield being assaulted. During the evening, what's going on there? Yeah, don't do that. Oh, now you're stalled? Yeah, don't. You echo feedback there. Okay. Sharon in Nova Scotia guy. Okay, so sorry, I'll back up a little bit there because somebody decided to turn on their YouTube. I don't know who that was. Was that you?
Well, that was me because for some reason I lost like all of what you said, everything. I couldn't hear a thing.
Derp?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are they muting us?
Possibly.
Which resulted, so the 19th anniversary, an argument which resulted in Lisa Banfield being assaulted, handcuffed, and placed in the rear seat of a commissioned police car. Prior to being placed in the rear seat of the police car, Gabriel Wortman fired shots at the ground around Lisa Banfield. Lisa Banfield did observe Gabriel Wortman pour accelerants in the cottage, 200 Portapique Beach Road, and the warehouse, and observed there were several firearms on the front seat of the out of commission police car. Mm-hmm. Lisa Banfield managed to escape from the rear seat and ran into the woods, where she hid until early morning hours, April 19th, 2020, with her blue coat, which was never recovered. Steve.
On the night of April 18th, 2019, Sharpie and Sharpie, who reside on Portapique Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia, were getting ready to go to bed when they observed what appeared to be a large structure fire not far from their residence. They drove to the area of the fire and noted that a building was on fire and there was a police car parked in a driveway not far from the fire. They drove past this driveway and turned around, and the police car came up from behind them and then pulled up alongside of them. Sharpie rolled down his window, and he assumed that it was a police officer wanting to talk to them. Once the two vehicles were side by side, Sharpie noted that the driver of the police car had a firearm with a laser pointed at his Sharpie head and shot at him. Sharpie ducked, and one shot grazed the side of his head and the other got him in the shoulder. Sharpie sped away and was met by marked police cars who had arrived on the scene as a result of 911 calls for reports of several fires and shots fired. Sharpie was not certain, but thought the shooter was Gabriel Wortman.
8. Members of the RCMP responded to 911 calls and located a residence where there was a deceased male on the front lawn and a deceased female inside the residence. At the house next door, there was a deceased female on the front lawn. Large Sharpie, Lisa McCauley, was one of the deceased Sharpies.
Number 9, members of the RCMP also spoke to Clint Ellison, who stated that his brother Corey Ellison had been shot, Sharpie, and was on the beach.
Okay, on the beach again. Here we go, back to this one. Okay. 10. In the early morning hours, April 19th, 2020, Lisa Banfield ran out of the woods and went to a residence where she called 911 to report an incident between her and Gabriel Wortman the night prior. She reported that while she was hiding in the woods, she heard male voices, then heard gunshots, then was silent after that.
Number 11. During the morning hours of April 19th, 2020, several reports of shots fired and people being killed were received in the Colchester County area of Nova Scotia. This continued into Hants, East County, and ended at the Irving Big Stop at Exit 7 on Highway 102 in Enfield, Nova Scotia, where Gabriel Wortman was shot and killed by police. Gabriel Wortman went on a killing spree and killed more than 15 people during the night of April 18th, 2020, and into the morning of April 19th, 2020. Police were engaged in a manhunt for Gabriel Wortman, and in the Shubenacadie area of Nova Scotia, Gabriel Wortman shot Constable Chad Morrison, who survived, and then proceeded to kill Constable Heidi Stevenson.
12. Witness statements were obtained, and Gabriel Wortman was described as a man who collected firearms, decommissioned police cars, police uniforms, and equipment, was paranoid, and had security systems in place at his properties. Gabriel Wortman is the registered owner of the residence and business at 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and property which included a cottage and warehouse in Portapique, Nova Scotia, located at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, 200 Portapique Beach Road, and 287 Portapique Beach Road in Portapique, Nova Scotia.
I wonder if security systems mean you're paranoid. Does that mean the government's paranoid because they're always watching us?
That's a good point.
Just saying.
Well,
anyways, number 13. Gabriel Wortman, 1968, 07, 05. Gabriel Wortman does not have a criminal record, but does have a conviction for assault in 2002, according to his offender summary report on Gen.
14. Gabriel Wortman has a valid Nova Scotia driver's license with an address of 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and has the following vehicles with current registration in his name. 14.1, 2017 Ford F-150 truck with Nova Scotia's license plate GDM 984, 14-2, 2007 Jeep Wrangler with Nova Scotia license plate GNP P860.
Number 15, Gabriel Wortman has the following properties registered in his name. 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Constable Kyle Doan, Constable Doan, a peace officer and a member of the RCMP, was near 193 Portland Street on April 19th, 2020, and observed a white vehicle in the driveway and a detached garage at the rear of the property. Constable Doan also stated that the main structure contains the business on the main level and the upper floor appears to be a residence. 191 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. 189 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. 287 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Constable Dale Burris, Constable Burris, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, went to 287 Portapique Road on April 20th, 2020, and described the property as a grassy property with no visible structures from the road. The property contains a lot of trees. 200 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Corporal Conn, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, viewed photos taken on April 19th, 2020 by ident of the property at 200 Portapique Beach Road and said there was a burnt out Taurus and the structure was burnt down to the foundation. And 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Corporal Conn viewed photos taken on April 19th, 2020 by ident of the property at 136 Orchard Beach Road, or Orchard Beach Drive, and said there was a burnt out Jeep and Taurus and the structure was burnt with most collapsed into the middle, but there was approximately 8 feet of walls still standing.
On February 12th, 2020, Gabriel Wortman was charged with speeding on Portapique Beach Road, Great Village, Nova Scotia, and was operating a white 2013 Ford Taurus with Nova Scotia license plate GMK 905. 16.1, Nova Scotia license plate GMK 905 is registered to Berkshire Broman Corporation 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and attached to a 2013 Ford Taurus. 16.11, Nova Scotia Joint Stocks has Berkshire Broman Corporation in its database with the following information. 16.111, it is non-registered company. 16.112, the jurisdiction is New Brunswick. 16.113, the mailing address is 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. 16.114, the registered number on it was registered on 2008-7-16. 16.115, there are no people listed on the file. 16.2, the master number for the Berkshire Broman Company is Berks 6030006, and the company has the following white Taurus cars registered to it. 16.21, white 2013 Ford Taurus with Nova Scotia license plate GMK 905. 16.22, white 2013 Ford Taurus with Nova Scotia license plate GJX365. 16.23, white 2017 Ford Taurus with no license plate attached to it cars, and one white 2017 Ford Taurus registered to the company. How many cars are we up to? I'm always get confused. Is it 4 or 5 white Tauruses that they've got? Anyway. Oh, we lost you. What happened there?
My phone's not working.
Your mic is not working. Are you back in business now. Hello?
Wow.
Oh, no.
I
Don't
can't
make me
even
read.
Great that I can't even understand what you're saying.
Well, you're on 17. So, oh, no. Now I'm stuck. All right. I guess you'll have to deal with my sounds a bit scratchy. Okay. Hello, none of my business. Nicole McKenzie. First time you caught me live. All right. Well, caught us live. We had Steve, but he left now. So I don't know. Maybe he got, zerped by the specials. Are you here? Are you back?
I'm back. I don't know if it's working.
Yep. Oh, you're kind of frozen. Maybe I'll just continue ahead. Or are you good now?
I'm kind of. I can even hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. You're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Where am I
so
reading?
You're on 17. 17, please.
I might just have to. I'll try here. 17.
Yes, please.
Just yell if you can't understand me because or something. Information from Constable Sean Stanton. On April 19th, 2020, I spoke with Constable Stanton, a peace officer and a member of the RCMP, who is one of the investigators assigned to investigate this matter, and learned the following. At 22:05 hours on April 18th, 2020, multiple 911 calls were received with respect to shots being fired and buildings on fire in the vicinity of Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Constable Lilly, and Constable Constable Grund, attended Portapique, Nova Scotia, and the following transpired. At Sharpie, Portapique, Nova Scotia, located a female deceased on the property. Sharpie, followed by medium Sharpie, Lisa McCauley, small Sharpie, that was on the lawn, and she was shot and killed. At medium Sharpie, Portapique, Nova Scotia, located a male deceased near the front door. This male was believed to be Greg Blair, Sharpie. Huge Sharpie, small Sharpie, Jamie Blair. Small Sharpie was dead inside the residence. And then big Sharpie. 17. Numerous fires were started on the different properties on Sergeant Steve Halliday. Staff.
Oh. Maybe kill your camera.
Oh, fuck's sakes.
Okay, he's gone. He'll return. I noticed the demotion again of Lily, but they seem to continue with that. Anyways, Staff Sergeant Steve Halliday, Staff Sergeant Halliday, a peace officer, member of the RCMP, said the following. Well, I guess he said a big black space. 1742, Gabriel Wortman was friends with Greg and Jamie Blair and recently had a falling out with them. 1743, Lisa Banfield was Gabriel Wortman's ex-wife and was currently unaccounted for. 1705, Sharpie was driving with Sharpie on Orchard Beach and saw a residence on fire. Sharpie pulled on into a driveway where, as he saw, what appeared to be a police car coming towards them. 1706, Sharpie believed the driver to be Gabriel Wortman. Believed the driver to be Gabriel Wortman. The words are important. And Gabriel Wortman pointed a handgun with a laser beam at him as they met window to window. I guess that's driver's side, and started to shoot them. Sharpie was shot in the shoulder and a bullet grazed his head. Sharpie did not get shot. That's I think we all know who we're talking about here, right? Sharpie was able to drive away and saw 2 other police cars in the area. 17:9. Clint Ellison reported that he was hiding in the woods because when he was walking on the beach with his brother, Corey Ellison, who was shot, Sharpie, and killed. 17:10. At 6:34 a.m. hours on April 19th, 2020, Lisa Banfield went to Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia, and had minor injuries. Because the shrapnel did not catch. Did we lose your brother? Gabe's ex-wife, yeah. Oops, sorry. Celebrating with ex-wife. Yeah, it's the important stuff here. You guys are all taking notes, though, I'm sure. I'm just reading. And I don't know where my co-host went here, but anyway. 17:11. Lisa Banfield told Constable McLeod, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, the following. Lisa Banfield was with Gabriel Wortman earlier on April 18th, 2020, and he had a rifle. 17:11:2. They were at Gabriel Wortman's warehouse, 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia. 17:12. It was confirmed that there were fires at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Sharpie, Orchard Beach Drive, Sharpie, Orchard Beach Drive, and 200 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Some of these redactions are absolutely silly. Seriously. No. There is no way that you can justify these. But again, I believe there is a application right now in for a judicial review. But to my understanding, the person doing the judicial review, of course, is the same judge that's handling the warrants, Halfpenny Macquarie. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Sounds like the shit. Anyway, 17:13. Constable Brown, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, obtained a statement from Lisa Banfield and reported that she said the following. 17:13:1. Lisa Banfield said that Gabriel Wortman had a bunch, specific, of long guns loaded. Had a bunch of long guns into a car. Oh, I see. The English is just very bad. Had a bunch of long guns into a car that looked like an RCMP car. 17:13:2. Gabriel Wortman handcuffed Lisa Banfield and put her into the back of the vehicle. 17:13:3. Lisa Banfield escaped and ran into the woods and hid. 17:13:4. Lisa Banfield went to Sharpie, Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia, and called 911. Okay, here we have this mention again. Insinuation called. She called. Okay. Interesting. 17:13:5. Gabriel Wortman told Lisa Banfield that he was going to the city to get black space. 17:14. Members of the regional Halifax Regional Police, HRP, attendants of the residence blank and located her and blank and provided them security as Gabriel Wortman had not been located. Blank said that Gabriel Wortman owned 2 Ford Tauruses, the cars, and one that looked like a police car with decals on it. 1716, members of the emergency response team, ERT, of the RCMP confirmed that they had located 2 Ford Taurus cars that were burned when they were looking for Gabriel Wortman. So now we're up to 2. I thought it was 1 Jeep and a Ford. Now we're down to 2 Ford Tauruses. As they were looking for Gabriel Wortman, one of the 4 Tauruses was located at 200 Portapique Beach Road, and the other at the warehouse 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia. 1717, a female was located deceased, blank, Wentworth, Nova Scotia, and 3 persons were unaccounted for. Gabriel Wortman, 1718, Gabriel Wortman attended blank Highway 4, Great Village, Nova Scotia, and attempted to get into a residence, but was unsuccessful. 1719. A female was located deceased in a vehicle near Hidden Hilltop Campground on Highway 4. 1720. Near blank Plains Road, Debert, Nova Scotia, there were 2 females shot in their vehicles. 1721, Heather Elizabeth O'Brien, and lots of blank there. 1722, Kristen N. Road, pardon my pronunciation. You guys all know I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Lots of blank. 1723, both females were VON nurses. Not sure why that's relevant. Some of these things are just strange. 1721, it's almost like they're written, like they're already in the press and they're just taking press articles and reinterpreting. I don't know who else's professions they're stating. Near exit 9, maybe we'll get school teacher, I'm sure. 1721, school teacher. Near exit 9 on Highway 2, near the EHS station, Constable Morrison, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, was shot, blank. Constable Morrison was shot in blank. Constable Morrison survived the shooting. Please tell me how these blanks could be justified. He was shot in the arms twice. What's going on there? There doesn't seem to be something. These cannot be justified. Absolutely cannot be. I don't care if you're conducting an investigation for firearms or whatever you're doing. Outlaw motorcycle stuff, whatever you're doing, does not have anything to do with where Constable Morrison was shot. 1722, unless you're hiding something. At Highway 224, near Milford Street, Gabriel Wortman was involved in some sort of an accident with the police car being operated by Constable Heidi Stevenson. Constable Stevenson, a peace officer and member of the RCMP, as both vehicles had front end damage. Both vehicles were on fire. When were they on fire? Later in the story. 1723, Constable Stevenson was located deceased, and her firearm and 2 magazines were missing. This is some interesting writing, but this was the same thing before we pointed out, right? 1724, in the back seat of the vehicle resembling a police car, that being operated by Gabriel Wortman, was a body blank. I didn't touch any of this. 1725, Gabriel Wortman then took a gray tracker and went to Civic blank on Highway 224, parked the vehicle behind the residence. 1726. One female was located deceased at Civic blank, Highway 224. Oh, here we go. We got Steve back. Sorry, bud.
Hey, no worries.
You want to
We'll
resume
see how
right
long
now?
it works. Well, we'll see how long it works for me.
Well, then I can actually get to some of these comments because I can watch them. All right, so we'll leave it with you. You can start at 17:27, please.
Okay. 1727. Gabriel Wortman then traveled to the Irving Big Stop at Exit 7 Enfield, Nova Scotia, in a gray Mazda and pulled up to a gas pump. Sharpie, a peace officer and a member of the RCMP, was also at the gas pump and recognized Gabriel Wortman. Sharpie, Gabriel Wortman, Sharpie died. At least one firearm was observed in the back seat of the gray Mazda that was operated by Gabriel Wortman. You want me to continue with the next little section?
No. I'm sorry. Give me a moment. I'm just pausing. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Alex McLean. If the car was on fire, how did they find Heidi's deceased and her firearms? Because Heidi was apparently not in the car, right? We know who that was. Was also at the pumps. So who arrived first? One, recognize Gabriel Wortman. He's deceased in the car. This whole thing down in Enfield is a gigantic headache. I rank it right up there with the tapes. To me, anyways, but that requires further investigation, which hopefully we're going to organize a group for. Statement of blank, victim and neighbor of Gabriel Wortman, 18 blank, provided a statement over the phone on April 19th, 2020 to Constable Jeff McFarland, Constable McFarland, and Constable Mike Woolcock, Constable Woolcock, both peace officers and members of the RCMP, and said the following: 18-1. Blank and his wife Blank were getting ready to go to bed, presumably around 2300 hours last night, and his wife was upstairs. Upstairs, and looked out the window and saw a fire beyond their neighbor's house. 18-2, Blank went to the window to look, and the fire was huge. The flames were over the neighbor's house, so they called 911 and got into their car to check it out. So that's why they phoned, because it was over their neighbor's house? Anyway, 18-3, as they drove down the road, there was a small blue house, and in front of the house, there was RCMP car parked in the driveway with an officer in it. So we presumed, here we go with this garbage again. I don't know who, like English classes? As they drove down the road, there was a small blue house, and in front of the house, there was an RCMP car parked in the driveway with an officer in it. So we presumed. Here we go with the swapping pronouns. Who's writing it? So we presumed they were waiting for the firefighters to get there. Does that make any sense to you? Steve? Okay. You're there, but kind of not.
Yeah.
There you go. Poof, gone again. They don't like you. I heard somebody block Steve. Didn't block me. Trying to play mind games, psychological warfare. Fuck right off. Don't care. I don't know. English bad. All right, let's continue on. Oh, sorry. Maybe this is Steve. Maybe he'll read aloud over the phone. Oh. Okay, do you want to try reading over the phone?
Yeah, they really just don't want me.
I think you just turn off the camera. You might be better off. But anyway.
I could try that. Here, let me go back in and I'll try that. And then this will be last resort.
And don't swear anymore in the chat, please. I'll have to kick you out.
Okay.
Okay. I'll continue until he hops in here. 18:4. As they drove down the road further, they saw that Gabe's whole garage was engulfed by fire. So they called 911, and the call taker had told them that they were aware of the fire. 18:5. They did a U-turn and drove back up the road. And while they were still on the phone with 911 and stopped in front of the blue house, they noticed the whole kitchen of the house was on fire, and they could see that the fire was spreading super quick. This is just odd language again. Super quick, melancholy. I don't know, somebody with creative writing skills, but doesn't have spelling skills. Next sentence. They didn't know who lives there, but the RCMP vehicle was still parked in the driveway, and they noticed that the officer was still sitting in the police vehicle in front of the house. 18:6. All right, let's go there, Steve. 18:6, please.
Still not working.
What? All right, phone back. Jesus, you gonna make me read this whole damn thing? Get out of here. I'm kicking you out. Ban from studio. There you go. Kick. You can call me. 18:6. Blank didn't know it was actually a police officer, but they presumed that he was a police officer because he was in a white Ford police vehicle. I have, pardon my bringing. Okay, there you go.
This is the only way.
Okay, it'll work. 18:7, please.
The police vehicle pulled around the driveway and pulled up beside them. So he rolled down the window to talk to him. But before he could say anything, he pulled a gun out and started shooting at them through his passenger side window into our driver's side window. His vehicle was about 2 feet away from our vehicle. That is some quick reaction time, but we'll keep going. Lucky for them, he had a laser scope on a handgun and saw the laser and realized pretty quickly he was about to shoot us.
Here we go again. Lucky for them. Lucky for them. Who writes this? Lucky for them, he had a laser scope on a handgun and saw the laser and realized pretty quickly he was about to shoot us.
I wonder if there's somebody at RCMP who likes the word lucky.
I like how they have some people writing the statement halfway through the sentence. Them, us? What are you talking about? Again.
Yeah.
Didn't they revise this morning or something? Yeah, it did. It says at the top, revised this morning. How does a warrant get revised? I don't quite understand.
Well, it's new information, right?
You're still going. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yes. 1810.
Yes.
Sharpie ducked. Again, amazing reflexes. And he heard 2 or 3 bangs and wasn't sure if he was shot at the time, which it turned out he was. But there were 2 or 3 shots, at which time his wife screamed at him to drive, and they pulled away and went up Orchard Beach Road towards Portapique Beach Road. I do have a question about that. Maybe I will finish this page before I ask this question. 1811. As they turned onto Portapique Beach Road towards the highway, they saw the first officer arriving on scene with lights on and the door open. I pulled up beside him. I think there's supposed to be a slash there, like a gender pronoun. AI pulled up beside him and explained to him that he had been shot and that there is a police car down there, or a car that looks like a police car that was shooting at them, and it looked like he was lighting places on fire. So my question to those in the chat right now, I'm sure some of you out there have driven this. First off, does anyone know where this blue house is? I think I know which one it is, but if anyone could confirm how long it takes to drive from the blue house on Orchard Beach Road towards Portapique Beach Road, because I can't imagine that it's longer than a 5-minute drive.
Oh, no. Much shorter.
Yes. So if these guys drove from Orchard Beach Road to Portapique Beach Road, and as soon as they got there, there was police officers there, that means the police officers were 2 to 5 minutes behind Wortman?
It's very short.
And they didn't find him?
Well, I guess this would be like apparently the SUV right behind the gray tracker. I mean, Ford Escape. You know, and they couldn't find him then either on a straightaway.
There you go. Somebody in the chat said 1 minute.
Yeah, it's just up the road. So no. The idea here, I think, is make it look as though they're having as many difficulties, challenged mentally, whatever, so that everybody's just like, there, sorry, instead of saying what exactly happened and how did this happen. Yeah, 35 cars. I noticed that earlier. Anyway, moving along. Kate, sorry.
I'll read to the end of 1815 and then I'll let you take over.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting.
No worries. So we were having a discussion there. It needed to be had. All right, 1813. A second officer asked for a bit more detail, and Sharpie told him that his first suspicion was that it was his neighbor, Gabe, because his barn was on fire and he had a look-alike Taurus that he was calling his police car. Sharpie said that Gabe had been working on it for a long time, but it was never badged, and it was just always white. It looked like a ghost car, but the one that was saw parked was definitely badged. That's great English skills.
Well, this is what our taxpayers' dollars pay for. Sharpies and highly qualified.
Well, definitely not English studies lessons.
Hey, Kendall.
1814. When he was sitting on the side of the highway waiting for the ambulance, he felt something in his coat and pulled out a bullet. It was under his shirt, and he put it in his pants pocket, but pulled it out to show someone, and is not sure what happened to it after that. He thought the bullet could be in his jacket pocket, which was in his car. The bullet was gold. And it was about 1 centimeter in diameter, and the front of it was pretty mushroomed.
I guess this is a ricocheting bullet that magically is landing in his shirt. Because it's mushroomed and it's in his shirt, but then it goes to his jacket and then it disappears.
He has a very hard shoulder. Maybe he's got a plate in his shoulder.
I mean, you know, this is very, very serious, right? But obviously, and we're not making fun of any of it, but
no, we're not.
It is humorous because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm watching CSI, the show, not CSI, the real cops who actually do investigating.
No silver bullet, though.
Well, they're not worried about wolves out there.
Chang's like, who the fuck loses a... Look at the foul language. Who the blank loses? Well, I think nobody has to worry. I never... Yeah, okay, that's not going to happen. It was a joke. Foul language is permitted.
Except for me. I will definitely get banned for that. I know it.
Yes, you're in the special category, all of your own.
Mhm.
Okay.
1850. The first house that they noticed was on fire was owned by a guy named Gabe. He couldn't remember his last name, but he's a denturist in Dartmouth. Gabe has a few properties around there, but he's got this big, fun garage with a bunch of motorcycles in there and a loft apartment. It was cool. It almost looked like a big barn, but it was a shop.
I'm sorry, but that is definitely written by a female. I'm not kidding. That is feminine type languaging. No guy is going to say, "Hey man, it looks really cool. It's a big barn and it's fun. Fun garage. That's a fun garage."
It was a man's garage.
What guy says that's a fun garage? Seriously. I think it's melancholy and grit. Anyway, sorry. The big barn.
1816, that's you.
Okay. Sharpie said, just before Portapic Crescent, by the way, somebody's in here who was commenting on my interrupting, so they're going to get a laugh out of that. I sent them a picture about that. Everybody who knows me knows I interrupt. It's because my brain can't keep up. Or it's going,
I interrupt you
going
all
too
the time.
fast. Sorry?
I interrupt you all the time. That's how my brain works too, apparently.
Well, good. Tara's in the house. Hello, Tara, our beautiful Tara. And, we were talking about that actually this morning, the interrupting stuff. So how, and this other person is probably going to laugh about that too. Anyway, I sent them a photo that said, what did it say? Their name, interrupting bullshit. I called the file. So they were giving me hell for it.
Wow.
Yes, not me. No, I never do that. Someone who was at the barn and had fun there before. I don't think a guy is going to say that, really. But maybe I'm just...
That's funny that's actually what I was thinking too.
About the fun... The fun...
Yeah, that's...
Big brown barn. Here we go with that again. It said that just before Portapic Crescent on the left-hand side, there is a little house, the only house on the left-hand side, and that's the house they saw an RCMP car at, the RCMP car at. Further down the road on the right-hand side is a big brown barn with a black roof and a white square in the middle of the roof.
Oh my.
Because, you have aerial vision and you can see that. Do you remember when I asked in the Discord, please, does anybody have the... I'm like, you guess that it can fly.
This 1816 feels like it's directed at somebody.
I think they can use Google Earth, apparently. Looks like it, with the white square in the middle of the roof. Because, they've got to be, 30 feet high. Can see the roof. In the building, it's really on fire. And is the building that was really on fire.
They should have put really, really. Two reallys.
Well, what was it? Somebody earlier phoned because they phoned 911 because the flames were over a roof. Not that they wouldn't have phoned any other time. 1817. Sharpie said the car he was driving is almost identical to police cars that showed up on scene. It didn't seem unusual in any way. 18, Sharpie couldn't describe the person that looked like a police officer, but said that it was a white man, and his instinct told him it was his neighbor Gabe, but he can't say for sure. That sounds like a positive ID if I ever heard one.
Didn't he say earlier that he assumed that it was Gabe?
The statement is unbelievably atrocious. It conflicts all over the place. And
I was pretty sure that in the earlier warrants he said that he knew it was his neighbor Gabe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there is massive conflicts throughout these warrants. If one just puts on the logic brain, they're terrible, terrible, terrible. 1819. He saw a gun and the laser pointer pointed at
laser
light pointed at his head or in his eye. That's got to hurt driving.
That'll blind you.
Yes, it does. And it must have ducked because there's a graze wound on his forehead. And then there were 2 more shots after that. One went through the car door and one went through his shoulder. His wife wasn't injured. So he saw the gun, but he didn't see who was holding the gun because he can't really say for sure. And his instinct told him in a new moon, in the dark, that for sure, well, kind of, he had an instinct.
Wouldn't his wife have been sitting in the passenger seat beside him?
Yes?
How did she not get hit by any of these that he ducked?
I don't know. Maybe because it mushroomed and landed in his shirt.
Maybe they've been watching The Matrix recently.
1820. When asked to expand on the first thought that came to his mind and that it was Gabe, he said it was just him putting things together. Gabe has a car that looks like a ghost car, a Taurus, with blacked out wheels and blacked out grille, and Gabe had bought parts from him for it in the past. So then it's a white car, but because it looks exactly like a police car and he can't see him, he knows for sure it's Gabe. That doesn't make sense. Because last time he saw the car, it was white. Is that right? So how, if he sees a fully marked out police car and can't see the face, that does he know it's Gabe? Yeah, I think the warrant's a little quirky. Yeah, a little quirky. Yeah, that's right up there with melancholy. 1821. I'll finish this one out and then you go. 1821. He knows Gabe. He knows, but before he didn't know Gabe. Now he knows Gabe. Yeah, no, I read this before. He didn't know Gabe before, but now he knows Gabe well, pretty well.
Read the second sentence in 1815 and then go back.
Okay, let's go to 1815. He couldn't remember his last name, but he's a denturist in Dartmouth. But he knows him pretty well. He's a denturist in the city. He's a little quirky, almost like he's got an odd character, melancholy grit, but he's a reasonable guy. He's always been...
I didn't know him, and I sold him some parts.
He's always been friendly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And pretty jovial. He didn't have the melancholy then. These words are not this big fun barn. No. But then he thought that Gabe's place is on fire. Is on fire. Not was on fire. And then all of a sudden there is this police car, and that's not a police car lighting the other house on fire. So it had to be Gabe. I'm sorry, can you reread that for me, just so I'm not operating on another planet entirely, Steve?
Yeah. 1821. He knows Gabe pretty well. He's a denturist in the city. He's a little quirky, almost like he's got an odd character, but he's a reasonable guy. He's always been friendly and pretty jovial. But then he thought that Gabe's place is on fire. And then all of a sudden, there's this police car that's not a police car. lighting this other house on fire, so it has to be Gabe.
I'm sorry. This is really serious. And like, honestly, it is truly, truly serious stuff. And I know this person will be having a field day with it. Egbert. Oh my. Read the Brenda article, did not know the Brenda stuff, and read the article and does not tolerate fools at all. Was exploding on the phone. But it is extremely serious. But you can't help but laugh at the complete lunacy. It's so transparent in this case. It's not even, it is funny.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And well, it's actually very sad, but at this point, that's literally all we can do. Like, we have been looking at so much of this for so long that if I was to get upset every time they release something to the point where I want to pull my hair out, I'd have none left, and I like my hair.
Yes, your hair is probably nicer than my hair.
So I gotta laugh. That's the only thing I can do at this point, because they're mocking our system. They're mocking justice. They're doing it right in front of our faces, and they're doing it to all of us.
They're mocking the families. I don't like how some of this stuff is getting laughed at by other people, and some of it, it's like a joke. It's not a fucking joke.
No.
Like, all one has to do is talk to the families, and then you understand it's not a joke. Today I spoke to Charlene and to Tara, and it's not a joke at all. This is pretty serious stuff. It's sad. But this writing is sad. But they want to appear like they're morons. That's the whole point. Yeah. Gabe has a nice log home down in Portapique Beach Road with a white thing on the roof. Oh, sorry. No, the Google Earth doesn't show that one. And he's got this big fancy place, not so sure if it's fun or not, that burnt down tonight, the Barn Workshop. And he likes to work on his properties. He buys up some properties around there as they become available. I think she should stick in the before she goes, and she needs to do the creative writing class. Probably more technical writing would be better, and stick with the CFSEU undercover drug motorcycle gang unit, which is her entire career.
You know what the problem is when you're taking statements from people like that they use colorful language and maybe not the best English skills. You tend to write like the people you're writing about.
It's almost like, yeah, there you go. It's almost like she was not really cut out to write these because she does other things. I wonder if she had help. Anyway.
If she did, she needs to ask that person to proofread better or something, or maybe get new help.
Gabe has a longtime girlfriend, not the ex-wife, wife. Remember how oh my God. He knows really well, who works as a receptionist at his denturist place, so she's usually around. I guess, I don't think he has dentures. I looked at his teeth. I don't believe he has dentures. Anybody who knows who this is knows what I'm talking about. 1824. Blank said that he might have had 2 or 3 conversations with Gabe a year. They only live out there part-time. But he knows him pretty well. Knows Gabe pretty well.
He's jovial.
He's jovial in his fun barn. Blank doesn't know the name of Gabe's longtime girlfriend, but he knows him pretty well. But she worked at the denturist company and is about 45 to 50, 5'5", brunette, and pretty fit. Wow. Okay, now we've got a full-on description of somebody finally. Gabe?
The 5'5" is pretty descriptive. Like,
Yes. But he only met her how many times? The memory is awesome. Gabe was 50 to 55 with light-haired, slim build, 6 foot, with a chiseled face. He can be found on Facebook. Wow. Chiseled. Steve, you're chiseled.
Yeah. Huh?
Steve, you're chiseled.
This is definitely something a dude writes about another dude.
I just don't like your melancholy face. You want to resume 1827?
Sure. Gabe had a black Jeep Wrangler and the white Ford Taurus parked at his place when they went for a walk last week. Gabe also has a white Ford F-150, and his wife or girlfriend had a white Mercedes. Sharpie didn't know of any guns that Gabe may or may not have had. Sharpie said that Gabe's Facebook profile is Gabriel Wortman. Statement of Sharpie, friend of Gabriel Wortman. 19. Sharpie provided a statement to Detective Constable, probably?
Yes.
Detective Constable Anthony McGrath, D. Constable McGrath, a peace officer and member of the Halifax Regional Police, and said the following. 19.1. Sharpie met Gabriel Wortman in 2011. Sharpie is a carpenter who lived on the property at Portapique, Nova Scotia, but he hasn't seen him, Gabriel Wortman, in 8 months. Sharpie said that Gabriel Wortman builds fires and burns bodies, is a sexual predator, and supplies drugs in Portapique and Economy, Nova Scotia.
Sorry, I've fallen behind. I had to leave the room for a moment. Which section are we on?
We're on 19.3.
19.3. Yeah, I was liking how it migrated from a girlfriend to wife, who he knows well. That changed around too. Anyway, sorry, moving along. 19.3.
Yeah, I'll reread that one just for you because it's interesting. Sharpie said that Gabriel Wortman builds fires and burns bodies, is a sexual predator, and supplies drugs in Portapique and Economy, Nova Scotia.
Oh, wow. They burn bodies. And they're a sexual predator. They never reported them.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do it together because that would put him in a lot of trouble. 19.4. Sharpie built the structure and is aware of all the secret hides located in the building. There are 2 false walls in the back bathroom and 2 in the garage. 19.5. The garage on Portland Street has an attic. 19.6. The log house has a 2-bay garage, and the password is Sharpie.
Because that's important to edit that out.
Yes.
We know, we absolutely know for certain, we edit out the code to the garage that's burned down, that nobody will ever see again.
We don't want to be responsible for people breaking and entering.
Oh, yeah. Egbert must be having a field day. Oh, no. Okay. Sorry.
There is a 30 by 30 deck, and underneath is a storage room where he kept cases of 50 and 40 caliber ammunition.
Is that where the crematorium was, too?
Yeah, probably.
Now we've got a 50 cal. It's migrating. It's getting bigger.
It's a big gun. 1907. There's a safe in the house and in the garage warehouse. 1908. There's a safe in the garage on Portland Street. 1909. Gabriel Wortman had 2 crates with grenades that he got from the U.S. Jeez. 1910. Gabriel Wortman has a Barrett. Barrett? I believe that's supposed to say Beretta.
No, it's Brett.
Oh, Barrett. 50 cal rifle. I never even knew he had a 50 cal. God.
Oh, you just, it's from the person who's burning bodies and sexually predator. Yeah. They might have a slanted view of this slightly. I think you can deduce who some of these people are, right? Yeah. It's very interesting how some of these people talk. They may have a vested interest.
That makes more sense.
They may have a vested interest in this.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, moving along.
1911. Gabriel Wortman has police decals for a car and the HRP uniform. 1912. Sharpie was aware that Gabriel Wortman had smuggled guns and drugs from Maine for years and had a stockpile of guns. Well, God, guys, why didn't you turn them in?
I believe it's a her. I think. Oh no, sorry, it's a him. Maybe last initial B. Sorry. No, I don't think actually this one is. Anyway,
1913.
Yep.
Gabriel Wortman would speak of getting rid of bodies, burning, and chemicals. Well, he did work in that trade. 1914. Gabriel Wortman was controlling and paranoid. 1915. Gabriel Wortman and Lisa Banfield had separate bedrooms, and he has heard Gabriel and Lisa arguing in the past about how Gabriel put a gun to her head. 1916. Gabriel Wortman smuggled drugs from Maine and had a bag of 10,000 Oxycontin and 15,000 Dilaudid. Dilaudid, yeah. See, that's how much I am.
Well, listen, I can pronounce drugs. I'm okay with that.
Well, there you go.
I don't know anything though. Anyway, moving along.
He has all of that from a reservation in New Brunswick. 1917, Gabriel Wortman would tell him different ways to get rid of a body and had lime and muriatic acid on the property. The barrels for these would be underneath the deck, along with the 50 and 40 cal ammunition.
Well,
that's in the store, underneath storage room. Sorry.
Yeah, right there next to the grenades, cases of grenades and burning bodies. Like nobody
this brings up other questions about CBSA
nobody would report
as well.
The CBSA, yes. 1918. There are video cameras at Portland Street and Portapique addresses. 1919. Blank was cautioned for conspiracy to commit murder. Oh, they might have a horse in this race. They might want to say he shot Kennedy too, because if they're under threat of conspiracy to commit murder, well, I don't know. Might as well say everything. And he said he did not have any involvement, planning, or knowledge of what happened. Just drug smuggling, sexual predatorship, burning bodies, illegal possession of guns, grenades. He didn't know anything at all, but just the shootings. You got to put that in the brackets. Then it kind of cleans it up. Blank provided layouts of the property. Gabriel Wortman is a licensed embalmer. Blank saw grenades on the bench in the garage, in the big fun garage. When asked if there were booby traps on the property, Blank said that he wasn't aware of any, but suggested that the police shut the power off as he wouldn't put it past. Gabriel Wortman, after what unfolded today, well, you need to shut down those power to those burned houses, properties, because there's so much power flowing around at that point.
Yeah. The wires were probably just bare on the ground waiting to electrocute someone.
Must have been that SWAT vehicle that was sitting there where there was no, what? Oh, no fire truck. I might think things. Oh, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. It's going to have to. We're going to have to at some point. Statement of blank provided a statement to Detective Constable Susan Lynch, Detective Constable Lynch, and Constable Constable Penfound, both officers and members of the HRP, and said the following: 20.1. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman were celebrating their 19th anniversary. Blank said that Gabriel Wortman had been disturbed and that he was severely abused as a young boy. She said that Gabriel Wortman was very smart, cheated, was a psychopath, and abused Lisa Banfield. Blank said that Lisa Banfield was fearful of him, and if she was out with him, she had to lie to Gabriel as he got jealous. But they weren't together very often because he was extremely controlling. I believe this she may have an initial last name B. It could be possible. Gabriel Wortman owned a denture clinic, and Lisa worked with him there. Gabriel Wortman had a mental breakdown and talked about the deed for the property in Portapique, and that Lisa Banfield had called and said that Gabriel had discharged a firearm in the house in the past. Blank said that there were guns in the warehouse and the dental office. Gabriel, 20.
I have a question about 20.5. Shouldn't there be a record of him discharging this firearm in the house in the past? Like she said she called. Who did she call?
There also should be a record of the mental breakdown, I would think, too. Just like those hospital records for Lisa should be we should be swimming in them. I haven't seen one. Well, I think they'll come out now, though.
Sorry.
No, not at all. Gabriel Wortman was paranoid about the pandemic and talked about withdrawing $750,000 in $100 bills, and that Brinks had delivered the money. Okay, so now we're up to over $1.2 million in cash. Blank said
That's a lot of cash.
And you want to tell everybody about the fact that you have $750,000 on your property.
Yeah.
No. Blank said that must be somebody pretty close to a female that's pretty close. Said that Lisa Banfield would know where the money was. 20.8. Gabriel Wortman talked about all types of guns, assault rifles, handguns, but Blank did not know where or how he got them. Blankety blank, 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 blank. Sharpie is running out and need to replace. 20.11. Gabriel Wortman collected police cars and bought the decals for the cars and was going to use the car for downed officers. Just make sure it doesn't wrap around the bumper, or then you take it off, because that's how somebody had that, something about decals wrapping around the bumper. Did you see that picture, that video?
Yeah, I think I saw some.
The video and the picture, the video and the picture didn't quite line up because you couldn't really see anything. And it came out 2 days after the warrant, talking about the police car. How handy!
Funny how that works.
Gabriel Wortman and was going to use the car for downed officers.
Maybe he meant he was. You know what? I'm not going to say it.
Or is there
It's just
buffering?
tasteless. It's a tasteless joke.
A touch of downs. Yeah, there is a touch of downs going around. Gabriel Wortman would dress up as a police officer and would role play. Gabriel Wortman had a whole uniform, hat, and jacket, and has a vest. I guess he still has the vest, but he had the whole uniform and jacket. Well, he did have has the vest. Yes, he does have the vest, or has. Current.
Still has the vest.
No longer, but yeah. Gabriel Wortman bought 4 or 5 white Ford Taurus cars, and used some of them for parts, and some of them were insured. Guess they checked the insurance papers. Oh, Todd's getting. Oh, I guess everybody's getting problems with the buffering. Some people. Good. Tara's not. Okay. Sorry to any of you who are. All right. Do you want to do Statement of Lisa?
Oh, yes. Statement of Lisa Banfield. Common Law of Gabriel Wortman. 21. Lisa Banfield provided a statement to Constable Brown, a peace officer and a member of the RCMP, on April 19th, 2020, and said the following. It was their 19th anniversary, and they were just at the warehouse having drinks. They weren't married, but had FaceTimed friends. Sharpie, and Sharpie, sick, in the States. Houlton, Maine, letting them know they were going to have a commitment ceremony for their 20th. And she had said, "Don't do it." And I got upset that she said that. So I said, "I'm leaving." And he, Gabriel Wortman, got pissed off that she was leaving.
What? What? And I got upset that she said that, so I'm leaving, and they were just, no, see, here you go with the pronouns.
But I thought they always were fighting, and you know, he would beat her, and they slept in separate rooms. They had their own rooms.
No, but do you see how this is why I'm pointing out the pronouns. Sometimes it's the first person writing it, and sometimes it isn't. It's a statement from another person, and sometimes it's the actual person that's writing it. Because they get confused because they're writing statements. This is my theory on this. It's because a person who normally types up warrants, like a police officer, types it up in third person, but then they're trying to mix things around, and it's confusing their brains.
Well, when they started the sentence there, it was third person, and it switched to first person.
I don't know. Is anybody else seeing? First time I saw you were live from YouTube. Okay. Thank you, Breathe. Appreciate that. Peter Stevens picks of wrap around ghost car. I don't know. I don't know anything about bubble wraps and fixed pictures. Whatever.
21.2.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Banfield was halfway to their cottage and felt bad, and then came back and said she was sorry. But at that point, Gabriel Wortman was already mad. Lisa Banfield said that she was going home. 21.3. Lisa Banfield went to bed. Okay. And Gabriel Wortman came in and ripped the blankets off her and started to beat her up.
Where were they FaceTiming? Were they FaceTiming at the warehouse?
Yes, they were at the warehouse when they FaceTimed. And then she went to bed Maybe she went to bed at the warehouse in the back of the police cruiser, or in the apartment in the loft. Or maybe it was behind the bar.
Was halfway to their cottage and fell back and came back. So he's very controlling, but he let her go home, and then he came home and ripped off the blankets and started to beat her up. Okay, sorry, I interrupted. I'm just trying to understand logic here, which is lacking throughout this whole entire thing.
I have a feeling that this portion is probably not going to make a lot of sense. Just saying.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Beth. I mean,
no.
Lisa.
Gabriel Wortman told her to get dressed and said, "It's done." 21-4. Gabriel Wortman poured gasoline all inside the cottage and told Lisa Banfield to grab the gun out of the cottage. They started to walk back to the warehouse so Gabriel could burn that. This sounds like a scene out of a movie where it's like, you know, the couple walking together in their black leather jackets, and they're like, "Fuck this place," and then they throw the match and it just goes up in flames.
You just beat her up and you tell her to go and get a gun?
Well, yeah, because he's concerned for her safety. There's gasoline on the ground.
Well, shouldn't he be concerned for her safety? She has a gun now, and he just beat her up. The logic. No logic here. She is beaten up and now armed with a firearm. Please go and get a gun. I just kicked your ass.
He was probably holding it over her head because she was the one who got the gun for him, right?
No, he said to go grab the cottage out of the cottage, but they're in the cottage. They're in the cottage.
I'd like to know where she was asleep in the cottage.
Poured gasoline all inside the cottage and told Lisa Banfield to grab the gun out of the cottage. They're in the cottage. And she's now beaten up armed with a firearm. And they're done. I'm sure she's probably not in the best of moods. And she now has a loaded firearm. I think I would be very concerned that she would shoot me. If I was
That would be
Dave.
My first concern for sure. If I was just beating her up, and then I was like, go get that gun that's over there, I would definitely be concerned that I'm going to get shot. Just saying.
And she does know how to fire firearms, which will roll out in due course. But anyway, moving along. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. We got to get this stuff straight. We got to figure it out together. 21-5. Gabriel Wortman told Lisa Banfield to walk in front on him, and she told him she promised to walk behind him, but Gabriel wouldn't allow that and ripped her shoes off her feet.
What? So she still has the gun? Does she still have the gun? She never gave it to him.
This is so bad.
And how she's walking, he's ripping shoes off her feet as she's walking with a gun in her hands. Because she's not in front, behind, up on her head in a cottage that she needs to go back to the cottage. Sorry.
Maybe he was of a certain religion and that's why she had to walk behind him. No, he wanted her in front. That doesn't make sense.
Kendall. Aha. That part of the story tells me her prints are on one of the recovered firearms. Oops. Wow. Ding. Ding. He has to explain the no shoes business, right? Because boots, I think something about boots.
Nux.
Well, somebody's boots went missing. She needed something to wear on her feet.
21-6. Lisa Banfield got loose and started running, but tripped and fell. Gabriel Wortman picked her up by the hair and started pulling her towards the warehouse. Gabriel Wortman tried to handcuff her, but only got one handcuff on, and then he started shooting at the ground around her.
Was she in the back of the car yet, or no?
I wonder if she still had the gun in her hands at this point.
I think she did. I'm still, and Houdini there also loses the handcuff because she knows how to get out of them because she doesn't show up with handcuffs.
That explains why it was so easy for her to get out of it if she was only handcuffed with one hand.
Well, she needed it to get the gun, to use the gun. Not to use the gun. I said, sorry, to get the gun.
Maybe the gun was handcuffed to the other handcuff. And she was just dragging it around like, like one of those steel balls, like when it's attached to your leg. She's just pulling this handcuff with a gun clip to it behind her.
Another great point, Concan, is it's hard to handcuff someone with a gun.
Yeah.
Occupied hands. It's like Aaron getting beaten up when he's shot with a rifle. Excuse me? Rifle requires two hands. Not sure what's going on there. Lots of problems over there, too. But anyway.
21-7. Lisa Banfield begged Gabriel Wortman not to kill her. He shot the firearm again and then put her in the back of the police car. And then he went upstairs in the warehouse. And 21-8, I will let you continue.
There was something about the walking and the shooting on the guns on the ground. So now they're going back to, they're back at the warehouse. Something at the beginning. I'm going to have to review that a little bit earlier. Lisa Banfield tried to kick the windows out and then was able to pry open the glass, the silent patrolman, and crawl through and escaped and ran into the woods with the handcuff still on. Where's the blue puffy jacket again?
Somewhere.
The blue puffy jacket. I guess she grabbed that and put it on with the handcuff and the guns. No. Problems. And you can't fit through those windows. I don't think. No, you can't put a person through those windows. The little tiny windows, the little tiny window that they talk to you through. She's got to be tiny. Maybe
she was double jointed.
Well, what did the person say who didn't know if she was the wife or ex-girlfriend or what? Who didn't know her but knew him well? Oh, yes, 5'5". Had an exact build. Gabriel Wortman had put all the guns in the front seat of the car. So she knows how many guns he has, but can't specify. Lisa Banfield could see smoke and heard gunshots. Who's he shooting at? In the warehouse. Gabriel Wortman had guns like the military people have. Oh, this sounds like Brenda. The military guns. He had approximately 5 guns, 2 handguns with red lasers, and a UFO on them, and a military firearm that took 32 rounds. Oh, wow. Almost like she shot that gun before. She has pretty good knowledge of it. I don't know what gun. Maybe somebody can correct me here. P.S. There's no military firearm, says Todd, that has 32 rounds. So they'll not even the 30 rounders. You don't put 30 in, they will jam every time. So I mean, these are really great invented things. Is she under caution at this point in time? I think she's questioned under caution. Or is
I would hope so.
Sorry, I missed who was questioning her. I'm going to back up. Because she's questioned by
Terry Brown.
Okay, it's not Brown. It's Vardy. Vardy's the lie detector guy. Okay, moving on. Sorry. Gabriel Wortman had a white Taurus police car that looked identical to a police car with lights on it and RCMP decals that she had an instinct about. So she knew it was him. I'm being a total smartass, but it's the guy's statement earlier that, What Gabriel Wortman poured gas, is in here actually. Gabriel Wortman poured gas on his Ford F-150 truck, black Jeep Wrangler, and another Ford Taurus in the warehouse, at the warehouse. Oh, so she's followed. Now she's over at the warehouse. What the hell's going on, man?
Well, she got out of the car that was at the warehouse, and now she's spying and checking what he's doing.
Because she's terrified with the handcuff and the blue puffy with no shoes.
Yes.
So she's watching what he's pouring gas on.
And her firearm.
And her firearm. Because you don't run away, right? In any of this, you stay and you watch what he's pouring gas on. I mean, I know that we've gone downhill with the logic, but we can use it.
Maybe she was afraid of running because she was afraid that he might throw a grenade at her.
Yes. 28 in the magazine, one in the chamber, 29. But it sounds good. 32. 32 sounds good. Gabriel Wortman poured gas. We can check and see what kinds of guns. I want to run checks on the serial numbers that will specify what type of Mini Ruger, probably what type of Colt law enforcement gun that is. I think we're going to find that there's similar ammunition as RCMP issue weapons, as in the Colt law enforcement. But they can be traced that way. Additionally, we can find what of any of the guns that they've listed. Could it have 32 rounds? Where did all these extra guns go? Is he just dropping them all over? And maybe they left them in the forest or in the woods. Woods. I gotta say woods down there. Lisa Banfield's Mercedes, because she could drive all on her own, right?
Well, it was hers.
It was hers. So wouldn't they only need one vehicle? Why would she need her own vehicle? He's sitting there with her all the time? He doesn't spend any time with her. This is such lunacy. Lunacy. Yes. Kendall, you're absolutely right. That's on my to-do list, is to line these up side by side. OCR, optical character recognition, and let's check them and see if this stuff is lining up. It can be done. Lisa Banfield's white Mercedes is at their home in 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, in the garage. She said that there is another Ford Taurus in the driveway, 193 Portland Street, 2115. Gabriel Wortman had only one white Ford Taurus that looked like a police car. 2116. Lisa Banfield hid in the woods all night and then went to Leon's Gowrie. 2117. Gabriel Wortman does not have a cell phone and smashed her cell phone and didn't have access to any other cell phones. I know a lot of people have a problem with that one. It's weird. It's just weird. Gabriel Wortman was abusive towards her in the past, but she never reported any of the abuse. Oh, here we go. Why we don't have any documentation, right? Gabriel Wortman had an uncle in the RCMP and has an uncle in the RCMP and had one of his uniforms, but it didn't fit Gabriel. he had a fluorescent yellow jacket, and he would put it in the front seat to make it look like he was a police officer. Because he also had a badge, which nobody has spoken about, even though they came up with the story a few days later. What was that? Halifax Media came out with that story. They're friends with certain people in this story, in this investigation stuff. Halifax Media came out with the story. Oh, yes, there was a lost badge, but we found it. Lisa Banfield said that Gabriel Wortman wasn't a police officer wannabe and didn't like police officers and thought it was better. He was better than all of them, but he had the car for the downed police officers. But he didn't like them. With the, what was it? Thin blue line sticker? Yeah.
It's a pretty popular sticker.
You know, if you hate police, that's what you want to have. Lisa Banfield said that when she was in the woods, she heard a couple of guys at a house. A couple of guys at a house on the back road, and then heard gunshots, and then there was silence. The house went up in flames after that. So I presume that she's speaking about the Galetian house. Pardon my pronunciation. Unless she went all the way over to Zoll's, following him around, because she's not running away.
Well, maybe she wants to get as much information for the police as she can.
She's so helpful. That's why she's spoken to all the family members.
Yeah.
That's why she's trying to diddle them when Wortman's estate clearly owes them something that can never be repaid. Please continue.
Sharpie section, followed by Sharpie 22. Sharpie provided a statement to Constable Jeff Stevens, Constable Stevens, a peace officer and a member of the RCMP, and Detective Constable Kristen Bradley. Detective Constable Bradley, a peace officer and member of the HRP, on April 19th, 2020, and said the following. 22.1. Gabriel Wortman is Sharpie boyfriend. 22.2. Sharpie has been at the property on Portapic Road before, and it has a large garage with rooms upstairs. There are lots of motorcycles and an RCMP car that Gabriel was fixing up. 22.3. Sharpie did not know where Gabriel was getting the decals from. That getting the decals from that were the same as the decals on RCMP cars. 22.4. Sharpie thought that Gabriel had a vest. Ballistic. 22.5. Gabriel Wortman collected guns and Sharpies. 22.6. Gabriel Wortman just recently acquired guns from a friend who passed away. Just recently.
Oh, just recently. Oh, recently acquired guns. Yes. I think there's the initials. Possibly, there may be a person with the initials DJ. May have something to do with guns in this story. I'm just leaving this out there for the RCMP to clean up their shit, because there is a lot more known. Don't screw around. Better come clean. Let's go.
Yeah. 22.7, big old Sharpie. 22.8, another big old Sharpie. 22.9, Sharpie does not know if any firearms are stored at the Dartmouth property. 22.10, the garage was alarmed, and there are lots of cameras all over the property. Sharpie and his wife felt that were being watched due to the amount of cameras. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to say they were being watched. 2211. Gabriel Wortman owns a denture clinic in Dartmouth, the parking lot, and another clinic in Halifax off of Nova Lee. 2212. Redacted.
That was a lot of emphasis there. I like that. You have more emotion. Redacted.
Next section. Redacted. Number 23. Redacted provided a statement. Detective Constable Jennifer Lake. Detective Constable Lake, a peace officer and member of the HRP, on April 19th, 2020, and said the following. Sharpie, 23.2, Sharpie received a text from Lisa Banfield, which was a picture of her and Gabriel Wortman in the warehouse around 6 p.m. 23.3, Sharpie went to Portland Street on April 19th, 2020, and was met by the police.
Oh.
23.4, Sharpie said that Gabriel Wortman was a sociopath, abusive, and cheated on Lisa. Sharpie said that if anything was going to happen, it would be Gabriel killing Lisa and then killing himself.
Does it start with a B? Last name? Sharpie?
Maybe.
I think maybe. There's a lot of statements from B's in here.
23.5. Gabriel Wortman was a funeral director and embalmer. 23.6. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman lived about the business on Portland Street and have another business in Halifax. Pretty sure that's supposed to say above.
About?
Just saying. Lived about the business. 23.7. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman have a log home and a garage in Portapique, Nova Scotia. The main cottage is where they lived, and the garage was where they would keep stuff. And they built an apartment above the garage. Just where they keep stuff, like grenades, like chemicals,
bodies,
motorcycles,
50 cals,
40 cals, just stuff, you know?
Smashed phones, handcuffs,
police cars,
vests, chemicals,
police badges. The list goes on. 23.8. Sharpie said that Gabriel Wortman collected motorcycles and police cars and bought them from auctions. Gabriel Wortman talked about having a police car that had RCMP decals on it. 23.9. Sharpie said that Gabriel Wortman in the past few weeks had withdrew his money and hired Brinks to transport it to him. Gabriel Wortman took $750,000 to Portapique. And 2310, Gabriel Wortman also recently purchased a bunch of gas. 2311, Gabriel Wortman showed Sharpie a gun on New Year's Eve, and she was uncomfortable and described it as being like a machine gun. This gun was kept by the fireplace in the warehouse.
It makes a good poker.
Well, yeah. Especially if it's one of those Tommy ones like what they had in the 30s.
It could be that this person works at Royal Bank, but I could be confused.
I'll let you start with the Sharpie section coming up.
Redacted. 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 Provided a statement April 19th, 2020 to Constable Holly Murphy, Constable Murphy, and Constable Denis Chartrand, Constable Chartrand, both officers and members of the RCMP, and said the following. Redacted. Lisa has been in a relationship with Gabriel Wortman for 19 years. Gabriel Wortman has assaulted Lisa Banfield in the past. Gabriel Wortman is very intelligent, but paranoid. Gabriel Wortman has a care modified to look like a police car. And Lisa told her about this. I think the last name begins with B again, this one. Gabriel Wortman was wealthy. Gabriel Wortman recently bought $800 worth of gasoline. Gabriel Wortman ordered large amounts of ammunition within the past month and picked it up at blank Brian's home. Redacted.
Isn't
Brian.
it amazing how many people know so much about him, yet none of it was reported?
I think this person's last name also begins with B. And they may have a tainted point of view. You know, she redacted, walked into the living room while the interview was being conducted, and at one time, redacted, visited Lisa and Gabriel at their Portapic residence. Gabriel Wortman showed redacted a hidden compartment in the garage where he kept a high-powered rifle. The compartment was underneath the workbench, underneath the grenades. This occurred 8 years ago. In the shed, Gabriel Wortman's residence at Dartmouth, there is a false wall on the right side of the shed. Lisa Banfield showed redacted this a few years ago. Lisa Banfield told redacted that Gabriel Wortman had a police uniform. So she's around all these guns and grenades and all this stuff. She's around to drive around in her own car. And she's just constantly getting beaten up. Now, this is not anything about women. This is not. It's about being snowed, because everybody knows how somebody generally knows people who have been abused, women who have been abused. This is not how you act. A controlling man does not act like this. Worry about you falling down.
Generally, you don't put up with it for 19 years either.
No. All right. On to you.
Statement of Sharpie. Sharpie, 25. Sharpie provided a statement on April 19th, 2020 to Constable Stephen Wagg. Constable Wagg, a peace officer and a member of the HRP, and said the following. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman celebrated their 19th anniversary. 25-2. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman live above, they got it right that time, above the dental clinic. They have a cottage in Portapic and a warehouse. 25.3. Years ago, Gabriel Wortman was abusive to Lisa Banfield.
Years ago?
25. Yeah, years ago.
Okay.
Well, maybe well, let's not go there. 25.4. Gabriel Wortman talked about having guns. 25.5. Sharpie has been in the warehouse and there was lots of security. 25.6. Gabriel Wortman had numerous police cars. Numerous. And you wouldn't know the difference. 25-7. Lisa Banfield told her that Gabriel Wortman had a police uniform and a badge about 1 year ago.
Told her.
25-8. A few weeks ago, Gabriel Wortman bought $800 worth of gas and bought propane bottles. A lot of people know about what he buys. That's for sure.
Well, if they're family of certain people, they know. Certain people.
I mean, he probably pulled up at the gas station with a sign saying, I am buying $800 of gas. I'll be here for a long time. Go to a different pump.
Well, there's a... Yeah. Well, Darren Campbell says that's really bad to do that, but not really bad because he stocked up.
Maybe that's what the chemicals were for, because he's not a really good painter. So when he painted the sign, he had to erase the paint and do it again because he spelled things wrong or something.
There was something else.
Anyways.
There was something in here. Sorry. Everybody knows where all his guns are, too. Family. That know that she's been abused and everything. I don't know what they're doing. I guess.
Well, they're helping him bring guns illegally into the country. That we do know.
Something's going on. Okay, sorry.
25-9. Lisa Banfield and Gabriel Wortman had a Jeep, white Mercedes. 3. Count that. Number 3 ghost cars. And some are parked at the clinic in Dartmouth. 25-10, there is a secret room in the clinic in Dartmouth.
Secret. And Blue Nose made an excellent point. Lisa has a phone, but he doesn't. Who is in control, and he abuses her.
That is a very good point.
Because she can't phone like an abuse hotline or anything. And she could, how's he going to phone her? She leaves. How does he get in contact with her? I guess he sends her.
He just blows up a grenade and then expects her to come running.
He sends her an email. That's what they were saying earlier, right? It's just all emails. I'm sorry. I really and anybody who knows this is nothing about making fun of either anybody who's been abused, making fun of certain people definitely in these statements, but it's not adding up.
Of the RCMP. That's it.
Well, and there could be some funny games. Who's going on, they compiled these statements. They signed off on it. Multiple people, specifically Harlock, who was ashamed that her name was going to get out. But I don't think it had anything to do with shame. It had to do with the fact that her history with all of her motorcycle undercover CFSEU, which is motorcycle gang task force, and on the down low. She doesn't want people to know that. Why? How does she go into writing warrants? After
she mentioned it in the last few warrants, right?
It's 19 years. She's been doing this for 19 years.
Professional.
She's been doing 19 years of outlaw motorcycle gang stuff. Statement of Sharpie, friend of Gabriel Wortman. Sharpie provided a statement April 19, 2020 to Brian Fitzpatrick, Sergeant Fitzpatrick, a peace officer and member of the HRP, and said the following. 26-1. Sharpie was friends with Gabriel Wortman. Gabriel Wortman is a denturist and has a business in Dartmouth and in Halifax. Sharpie and his wife Sharpie have been at the log cabin in Portapique. Gabriel Wortman is a millionaire and is very smart. Gabriel Wortman told Sharpie that he took $750,000 out of the bank recently and took it. Gosh, everybody knows. They don't know about the other delivery, though. They don't know anything about that one.
No.
I think he got a ride there. Did he get a ride there?
I don't know. I thought it was a Taurus.
But did he not? Was somebody driving the Taurus with the hubcaps on it? Because all of his cars were black rimmed. But that one,
cars, right? That
one in the video had hubcaps on it. So I guess he went out and rented one specially or something. Gabriel Wortman had an uncle who is a retired RCMP member, and this uncle gave Gabriel parts of his uniform. Summary: on April 18, 2020 and April 19, 2020, Gabriel Wortman went on a killing spree that resulted in more than 15 people being killed. One of them was Constable Heidi Stevenson, and 3 people who survived: Lisa Banfield, Sharpie, and Constable Morrison. I still want to redact that, Okay. Gabriel Wortman. When is this filed? On the 20th? How many deaths did they know about at this point? It's another one. Gabriel Wortman was operating a white car that resembled a police car, complete with decals and every bell and whistle possible, because you can buy all that stuff, no problem. Gabriel Wortman, but FinTrack, they didn't know about that for a year and a half. Gabriel Wortman, until after he's dead, Gabriel Wortman was shot and killed at the Irving Big Stop in Enfield by police officers, one tactical unit that was stopped for gas. Shot a person not in the clothing they were described in, and a car that wasn't what he was driving. They got some.
There was dogs there. They sniffed them.
It's X-ray vision. Gabriel Wortman, and then you got all the. I love the bang, bang, bang with loads of police officers around. Kind of a problem with that grayscale photo, and the time is correct. Anyway, Gabriel Wortman showed a complete disregard for human life as he shot at people sitting in cars, people walking on the side of the road, and at people in their private homes. Not sure what the white shirts were showing that day. I guess it wasn't complete disregard. No, 23 people. Several witness statements were taken who described Gabriel Wortman as a person who collected firearms, decommissioned police cars. Somebody already said they had real police cars, and police uniforms and equipment. Badge never been addressed. Police who people also talk about there being secret hiding spots on his property. It is reported that there is a false wall in the garage located in the back of property at 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth. They wouldn't know that at this point. It is also reported that there were secret hiding spots in the warehouse at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia. It is also reported that Gabriel Wortman was paranoid and had several video cameras set up on his properties. Has anybody ever seen good night, Tara? Good night. God bless you. God bless all the families. Is anybody, do we have any professional records? Any professional diagnoses, or do we have some clown who invents terms that's not in the DSM inventing after the fact, which is not admissible? These people are professional psychiatrists, the witnesses. Anyway, Gabriel Wortman was a denturist and ran two businesses, one located at 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and the other on Novella in Halifax. I believe Gabriel Wortman had access for computers in order to keep track of his business dealings. Gabriel Wortman also collected firearms and grenades, and I believe that he conducted research on these items, but he didn't have a phone. Please continue.
My grounds for a sealing order pursuant to section 487.3 of the Criminal Code are as follows. 30. The investigation into the murders of more than 15 people and the attempted murders of 3 persons is ongoing, and if the information in this ITO were to be disclosed at this point in time, it would compromise the ongoing investigation. Pretty sure we've heard that a few times.
They love that get out of jail free card. How many ongoing investigations are there into Deadland and such?
I think probably thousands.
Somebody's got good ears. Okay.
My grounds for an assistance order pursuant to section 487.02 of the Criminal Code are as follows. Properties at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia, 200 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia, and 287 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia. 31. The properties identified above are large rural properties, and 2 of them have structures that are partially burned. I am requesting the assistance of excavation related to companies to assist in the following ways. Excavation of fire scenes or other areas of the property listed on the search warrants under the direction of peace officers the day it happened. 31.2. Not to disclose any information in regards to these search warrants or any part of this investigation to any persons named in this application, the general public, persons claiming an interest, legal or beneficial,
families, in the information that is described in the search warrants and which is to be obtained by the execution of search warrants or members of the public. My grounds for believing that it would be impracticable to appear personally before a judge to make application for this warrant in writing are as follows. Given the current health crisis involving the coronavirus in Nova Scotia at this time, it has been requested by personnel at the JP Centre to submit judicial applications via telewarrant for applications that can be obtained via telewarrant. There are no previous attempts to receive a warrant in respect of this investigation. Interesting. Never had a warrant out. I wonder if anybody's ever seen Angela. I don't think so. My grounds in support of a warrant to be executed at a time other than by day are as follows. And just back to the families. That's pretty awesome. You want to lock out public. These documents, by the way, are public property. Public property. Everybody that's watching this show owns them. Owns the RCMP, in fact. Owns them. Not the other way around. And Blair and government up to, of course, our Prime Minister are directly responsible for everything that happened. Everything. They most certainly knew about it, and they've been covering their ass this entire time, trying to prevent people from knowing why and what all happened, transpired that night, and what led up to it in the years before. My grounds in support of a warrant to be executed at a time other than by day are as follows. Property in 193 Portland Street, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, is a large property which encompasses both a business and a residential portion. There is also information that there are secret rooms behind full walls. In order to conduct thorough search of this property, I believe it will take longer than 1 day, and therefore I am requesting search warrant be valid for a period of more than 1 day, commencing April 20th and ending 2100 hours April 24th. So that was the day of the first press conference. So they would know everything by that point. Darren Campbell, of course, said a lot with those pins, maps. This is kind of somewhat problematic too, because they're perfectly happy to bulldoze tow cars with victims in it.
Still burning.
Yeah, still burning. Let's destroy that house. And one only needs to use the logic.
Hey, I'm putting the fire out here.
There's 2 people that died in that house. And the house is still on fire and they're bulldozing it. Oops. Oops. Should go in the lawsuit. 34, the properties at 136 Orchard Beach Drive, Portapique, Nova Scotia, 200 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia, and 287 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia, are large rural properties. 2 of the properties contain structures that are partly burnt to the ground and could require assistance of excavation-related companies. In order to conduct a thorough search of the property, I believe it will take longer than 1 day. Therefore, I'm requesting that a search warrant be valid for a period more than 1 day, commencing April 20th, 2020, ending 2100 hours, April 26, 2020. Now, the properties weren't returned for 3 weeks in case of the bonds and the Oliver Tucks. I wonder if they had a warrant that lasted 3 weeks. That road was sealed. I'm requesting that a search warrant will be granted between the hours 1600 and the April 20th, 2100 and 24th, the property of 193 Dartmouth, Portland Street, Dartmouth, and between the hours of 1600 and 20th and 2100 hours 26th April 2020 for the properties 136 Orchard Beach, 200 Portapique Beach Road, and 287 Portapique Beach Road, Portapique, Nova Scotia. Because they wanted a couple more days. Wherefore, the informant prays that the search warrant will be granted to search the premises for said things. I think they better pray, and pray long and hard, because they got a hell of a fight coming. So, she thinks she's got her white shirt in the mail. So what's your feelings on that?
I feel there's a lot of questions that are left from reading that entire thing. I feel there's more questions now than I even had before. And we had a lot of questions before.
If anybody wants to hop into the voice chat on the Discord server, please feel free. We'll try and get that, because I'd be really interested in hearing what everybody else thinks. It's really, really bad on the RCMP. It's only going to look worse. They released the easy stuff first. O drives. Wow. Gmail accounts. Cover-up stories. They're absolutely atrocious people. And laughing at victims. And other people laughing at victims, which is sad. There's not a conspiracy here. The proof is all in the pudding. It's all pictured, documented, everything. Absolutely, 100%. Are you part of a conspiracy?
I don't know anymore. But no, don't feel that I am.
I don't think anything that's been said in the channel has turned out to be incorrect. Oh, I did need to make a slight correction on the last video. I think there's 2 or 3 minor things that I said that were wrong, but I did need to elaborate, and it is a correction on my part, that the warrants, I don't believe her lawyers have access to full warrants. I believe they do have more access to the warrants than the families do, because their client is charged. So they get full access to, or more access to stuff to do with their client.
Yeah, because they have to establish a legal case.
The appellate lawyer, whose work is wrongfully convicted, she's not been convicted yet. So I don't understand why he's coming into the picture exactly, but yeah, very, very odd behavior on their part. Let's see what's going on in the server. Nobody wants to chat. Is that it? And it's very strategic, because she can drag these warrants out, so it's beneficial to both the Crown and the and then it also gives another avenue to fight the warrants. So she wants everything gone, specifically from paragraph 13. I'm going to have to figure out what she's referring to. Cold, buddy? Is that why you're shaking? Nobody wants to chat. Come on. Nobody wants to chat.
Hey, sometimes people just want to listen. Your voice is soothing.
No, it's
probably
not.
helping put Tara to bed right now.
No, it's not. Here it is. It's anything but
Some people like the sound of scratching your nails on the chalkboard.
Well, here we go. 902 says, I don't understand. Maybe you guys have a reason, but I don't understand why you're scoffing at military items. It's the use of military items by people. I'm not scoffing at it. It's the use of it. The terms, they're purposely sewn in there. Very intentional. So if you want to join, here it is right here. Also, please subscribe to, you just plug your name down into the channel. See, like if I want to go in there, I think I just, how do I do that? Oh yeah, here. See? There I am. Now I'm in there. Little gray cells, you see? So anybody wants to just hop into the general channel. We're also going to do a meeting, I think, coming up here. How did I go? Yeah, okay, there we go. Going to do Zoom.
Yes.
I really want to get back into hearing biggest bunch of BS from Banfield and her family, friends. RCMP still covering up, Will Roy says. Their crap operation retribution is going to be put in their place. Retribution is going to be put in their place, and the RCMP will be exposed. I think the RCMP are already exposed. They can't really hide terribly.
Or at least terribly well.
No, even with the use of Sharpies. I did buy some stock though.
Did you?
Yeah, hoping to make lots of money.
Well, you may just cash in.
Serious stuff. And and again, it's not a laughing matter, but the lunacy that they expect people to buy is really, that's actually a tragedy too.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy that we're paying tens of millions of dollars for this, because that's what it's amounting to. And the business about what in all likelihood is falsification of evidence. Your brother knew Stevenson. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like from what we hear, she was a really good cop, actually.
They're okay, Blue Apple, in my opinion, taking the heat on this one. Yeah, sorry, Steve, you're absolutely right. She was, by all accounts, a very good police officer. They want to look as bad as possible to take heat and just look incompetent. Because, well, the bank of the government, your pockets are endless. You can just keep paying. So every time they make a mistake, well, you pay. That's why, I'm going to do some stuff and put some stuff together to encourage lawsuits by other people against the RCMP. But specifically, one of the named defendants has to be the RCMP pension fund. You have to attack the RCMP members directly for them to kind of say, oops, we better start spilling the beans on this one, because there's responsibility then, accountability. It's not accountability when it's endless pockets of cash. Yours. Good evening, guys. Just listening in the BG. In the BG. Sounds really culty, druggy, these relations and accounts. Just my opinion of it all, says RT. Howdy, RT. All you have to do, none of your business, is pop down into the channel. So anybody who wants to join, you go to here. I've got it covered up with RT's comment. All you have to do is go over here to the general and click on general. And now you're in there. And so
I could even jump in there too.
You could jump in there.
Yeah, I'll jump in there so that people don't feel alone.
Okay. Sounds
all right,
good.
I'll see you in there.
Hello.
Oh, hey there.
How's it going?
Oh, it sounds nicer in here than it did on the phone call.
Oh, you got earphones though. You and your earphones. I don't know how to chat, says Nicole on the Discord, but the interview on the warrant with the people whose house Gabe went to but didn't kill them. They heard someone say it's Gabe, it's over. Why is that? Why it isn't? Sorry? Do you get that, Steve? And they heard someone say, give it up, Gabe, it's over. Why isn't there more on this in the press? Yes, their story is interesting.
I do remember something about somebody saying, Gabe, it's over. I do remember hearing something about that, but not exactly sure where.
Joe Dillon says, if her story is true, when did he double back to kill Dissolves? He was too busy on Orchard Beach. Oh, it must have been 26 minutes. Or what is it now? How long is it now? I think they're on their 4th, 5th, 6th time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they said in this warrant that they started getting the calls at 10:05.
10:05.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Griffin swore that it was 9 o'clock, and the phone records verified that, and the RCMP said that. I don't know how that works, but
I'm pretty sure I still got an article that I took a picture of that says 9 o'clock as well.
Kendall says, so do we assume now that the gun has Lisa's fingerprints match some of the bullets recovered? Perhaps it's on the gold bullet. You never know. Never know. Gold bullet maybe has her fingerprints on it. Not sure.
She does like gold and stuff, right?
Yes. I believe she does. None of your business. It is not showing what you just showed on the general for me. Oh. Do people not have...
You have to... So when you click on the server and you scroll down all the way to the bottom, that's where the voice chat is. You'll see all the available like options. You'll see companies. You'll see this. You'll see that. Go all the way to the very bottom, and then you'll see voice chat.
Do they? Does this have? I'm okay. There we go. All right. None of your
business.
Now you just have to hit.
Probably have to turn your mic on.
There's a little button. Where's the mute?
It's like a microphone, and it'll have like it'll be red.
Oh, she doesn't have it on her computer or something.
She might not have a microphone on her computer. Some of the new computers don't even come with one.
So this is the first of 6. Right. You know, better just go through them, but I'm not going to bore everybody with hours and hours of it. Witness stuff sounds about as reliable as crackhead. Wow. Okay, she's got the video on.
Oh.
I don't know if you want video on or not. Maybe we'll turn that off and then...
I don't even know how to turn my video on.
I think you could click the video button.
Interesting. I never done that. Let's try.
There we go. Okay, we'll leave it. Hello. There she is, but no sound. Oh, lots of lag. Lots of lag. Oh, there she goes. Don't worry. Nobody saw you. Well, I did. Steve did.
I did too. Yeah. And you look like a very wonderful person.
Yes. None of your business. Very nice. It was the first time.
Steve,
once.
I'm muffed. I'm muffed. Can you hear me?
Control F. What is Control F?
I bet you I have to turn my volume up.
Oh, I can turn you up.
You can turn me up too, yeah.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Is that better, everyone? Better? Testing.
Oh, it was an interesting set of warrants. What did Blue say here? I think we need liberty from the Crown. Type time for a Republic of for Canadians. RCMP are spying on all Canadians while posing as the musical ride and thumping anti-government wrong thinkers and natives. Yes. What's your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. I'd say that's a pretty accurate statement.
Oh, my poor dog.
I don't really see much wrong with it.
My poor dog, he can't see and is stuck in between the door. There you go. It's okay. The Sharpie guy who stated about the burning bodies, hidden rooms, etc., there is someone else who told the RCMP that as well. Well, I'm sure everybody's got names and faces and wants the best for the families. It's not like anybody really has any desire to hunt people down or anything. If Canadian colonies just joined the US 77.6, we wouldn't be in this mess, but probably in a different one. Oh, I would most certainly agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just a pile of mess.
Yeah. You just replace one mess with another.
Sounds like you're in a tin can, Steve.
Really?
Yeah.
So I should call back in? Was it better that way?
Oh, okay. Sorry, my other phone is going. I think that might be somebody who wants to talk but can't. Just hold on. Pardon my pants. Phones. I'm gonna have to probably sign off at some point here, but so I got to spend some time with the other person. Let's see. Better half of me. Where's this call log? There we go. Oh, it's Ricky. Is Ricky watching? I don't know. Hey, are you watching right now? Yeah. Oh, okay, no problem. I can give you a call back. All right. Okay, bye. No, nobody wanted to say anything. Well, it doesn't look like. Get your glasses. Listen, Eckbert, you and I will have it out. I'm heading your direction at some point here. Don't worry about it. You know I don't put up with bullshit. Let it go to answering machine. No, it's different Ricky. Different Ricky. That was Ricky Oliver calling. Not Ricky G. And I know
William Roy, wouldn't it be safe to say that individuals with knowledge of the grenades are weapons-based charges and a lawsuit?
And that's just me in Nova Scotia. Ricky doesn't need to go to the voice machine. I presume you're meaning Ricky G. Wouldn't it be safe to say individuals with knowledge of grenades and weapons? There are pictures out there, I think, maybe, with guns. Maybe.
Possibly.
Oh, did he? I thought Jordy Morgan said there will absolutely be no discussion of anything to do with the Nova Scotia shooting on the show. Or did I misunderstand that? Thank you, Judy. He's a good little guy. He's old though. Way past his expiry.
Well, then he's doing great.
It's nothing to do with his owner, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. They're not nice to animals, right?
Yeah, animals are great. No subscription. No, sorry. Subscribe, but no notification. Not a surprise, Richard. Not a surprise at all. But thank you.
Par for the course there.
Thank you for joining. Anybody feel free to subscribe. Steve's new channel, please, if you're interested in checking out his material, if you don't know it, or if you are an old-time fan of Steve's stuff, or if you just want to, try it out, see what you think. Doesn't necessarily.
Or if you just want to go over there and tell me I'm a, turd, go for it, because I've got thick skin.
He makes great intros, and he does super awesome research. So, but that's down below. The links for everybody's channels down below. So please feel free to subscribe. You can even subscribe here if you want, but I don't plug. She virtually got off her confession. They will disband the public face of the RCMP, but wide awake special operations are amalgamated into CISA, thereby national security and free from FOIA and public scrutiny. O-drives. They were free.
That sounds about right, too. Todd is always on point.
On point. I like that.
He sharpens his pencils twice a day, that guy.
Oh, I've got a present for Todd. Just for him. I got the Ford hat.
I love that Ford hat.
Just for you, Todd. Just for you. There you go. Okay. Yum. I bought them.
When hungry.
I don't know. I've been eating a lot of them. I'm getting addicted. I think I'm changing teams or something. I know he's laughing his balls off. Call him. You sent me something. Okay. Redactions. I'll have a look at that. Oh. Just sending a text to interrupt absolutely for no reason. So a big fat fuck you to that person. You want, okay. That's just rude. There you go.
Shut the fucking door.
Well, she's private. Who sent the text? Oh, yes, the Facebergs. God, all this shit, hey? I tell you, it's just shit. Hey, tried calling. It's not working. Oh, yeah, that's another phone. It's gone. It got poofed. Okay, nighttime. Let's see here. What does this say? I don't know. Now my phone doesn't rotate anymore. New information was released that provides a glimpse at first moments of Gabriel Wharton's shooting and arson project rampage. I believe it's the first time any of Lisa Banfield's story has become public. Really? Says CBC. I guess CBC hasn't been watching. I know Jillian watches.
Well, I mean, they gotta have their news written for them somehow.
Still nobody's joining. Okay, getting sad here. Anybody rolling with this guy as suspect? Yeah, absolutely. These redactions come public. She loses public support and gain more public support. She loses public support to gain more public support. Wow. Kendall, that's a mouthful. I feel like my mouth is full of bagel. Are you laughing at me?
A little bit, yes.
I'm going to get to your video, I promise. I do have it queued up. There's so much shit, man. I'm so far behind. I've got articles that I got to read and stuff, but can't leave friend hanging. Retire Kate Breton. Nice. Nice. I think I'm going to get another phone. I don't know how many phones I need, but then we can just do
quite a few.
We can just do phone. We can just do phone.
Maybe
phone.
You can call yourself and then have a lot of fun that way too.
You know, but you don't have to pay for that. You can just talk to yourself and answer. It's free. Okay. So they say that she shot at? Well, she was checking it out, watching what was going down.
Oh. Well, that's why I'm telling you, that's why there was a gun handcuffed to the other end of that handcuff.
Yeah, well, you don't drop it then.
Exactly. She just flicks her wrist, and all of a sudden there's a gun in her hand, and she's just ready to defend.
Could somebody come out here, an RCMP member drop their gun out in the woods? Can somebody also come and get the car? There's no proof whatsoever all those illegal military guns and grenades ever existed except for hearsay witness. Hearsay. You better have the proof. Your kind eats lots of bagels. Okay. None of it is to gain sympathy. Let's see here. Interrupt me, Steve, if I'm going by here.
No, you're doing good.
Bible Hill received complaints about Wortman owning firearms, his violent behavior, and that he wanted to shoot a cop. They did nothing. Well, they should have the paper records of it.
Yep.
Oh, we destroyed it. I guess you don't have any proof. Oops. Meaning not you. Meaning the RCMP. I think a lot of this is contrived conveniently on. I am not in any way letting this man off the hook, but there is most certainly a lot more to the story. Things that, maybe some people aren't privy to. But it will come.
I can only hope.
Mossad has the best bagel buffet around, says Todd. Where does this guy tie in with Epstein? No idea, dude. I don't know if that's. I'm not going to go there. I'm just kind of sticking with what's on paper. If he beat her so badly, why didn't Leon notice? Absolutely.
Yeah.
What did they say? Minor injuries now?
Something like that.
There
What I
are.
heard.
Why didn't they catalog photograph injuries, RCMP? Treat at West Hospital? Well, because that is part of the ongoing investigation.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh. Hello.
I think you got to pause the video.
Okay, how do I pause the video? Just a sec here.
Or you just turn the volume down.
Well, then she can't hear us.
I actually went on my tablet.
Oh,
I had to turn my. Okay, I'll turn the volume down on my computer. Just one sec.
Yeah, she should be able to hear us. She's in the room here.
There.
And we're...
Can you hear me?
hello.
I can hear you.
So, do you want to identify who you are, or you?
I'm none of your business.
Okay. Anybody can hop in here and party. I got bagels.
Everything bagels.
Everything.
They are.
They are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got the camera off.
That's the best kind.
See, I haven't even muted the microphone yet. I don't think I've made a technical error. Have I?
I don't know.
Not yet.
I'm watching you on the computer, but got you on my tablet, so I can hear you and talk.
Good. All right. So, what did you think of the warrant?
Bunch of BS.
It's the best way to describe it.
There's so many things in there that are just wrong, totally wrong. And I mean, this is coming from someone that wasn't there, but knows some things that went on. But just what they had to say was like, a normal person wouldn't talk that way. The conversations are like 3 people are doing one.
Yeah.
Yes. No. It's written in such odd languaging, use of pronouns. I can't believe that this would pass a judge. They should be like, you need to go back to school, get out of the RCMP, and put in a letter.
Yes.
They did that before with the person who was lying on the warrant over there. Because that's apparently not uncommon, the lying in warrants.
No. It's not, unfortunately.
I'm sure you've got...
Considering it's a document that goes before a judge, you would think that they'd be pretty strict on the lying thing.
Yes.
Chiang said,
and if those warrants and everything that you read on there tonight is supposed to be owned by us or whatever, how come everything is, like Steve says, sharpied out when we should be able to see it? Because that's the only way that we can disprove what people have said. If you know who's saying it, then 9 out of 10 times you know whether that person's telling the truth. But when they don't show you who's saying this or who's saying that, we don't know where it came from.
absolutely. Yeah. You have a face.
Well, we all know the reasoning why, because there is a quote-unquote ongoing investigation.
And they better be investigating their own members.
Oh, no, they don't do that. Unless you speak out against the RCMP, then you're really in the shit. You do not do that. Was CTV Atlantic had something on the news tonight?
Who are you speaking to, me?
Well, I don't get CTV Atlantic. I suppose
I don't watch the news, actually, because most of it's nothing but lies.
Yeah, just downvote them. That's all I do. It's funny to look at the downvotes that they're getting. Like, nobody listens to their trash anymore. They know what comes out of their mouth is controlled crap.
Yes.
Military power grade power supplies, But who knows what was actually in the crates? Crates tie back to England. Yes, and these are old crates. And who knows what was in them. But, I mean, again, it's just logic, right? They went through the property with a fine-tooth comb. I think whatever they left, they want people to find. It's a red herring.
But how could they go through the properties with a fine-tooth comb so fast and then demolish everything?
Well, Portapic, they took more time, right? Everything else they just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So anything to do with the assailant, well, they left that.
Covered up.
Yep. And they went through all that pretty thoroughly. I mean, there's all kinds of people down there, and there's heavy equipment and all kinds of other things going in and out of there. And then, they did destroy it eventually. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly. I think the trustee is the federal government of his property. So I'm not sure how that all got probated and the property sold underneath the family, especially because it's tied up in court. I don't think they can do that, but.
Yeah, I don't understand how they could sell everything and the properties and all that when there's a court case going on, because I certainly couldn't sell my house when I was going through a divorce, even though I owned it.
There was a release prior that he shot at her feet to get them to move. I wonder if that was right after she gave him the gun. Here's the gun I got for you. Bang, bang, dance.
I like Steve's description of her handcuffed with the gun and the gun handcuffed and they were dragging it behind her.
I mean, it just makes sense, right?
Exactly.
I wonder how her pedicure fared that night. Leon said the feet weren't dirty at all.
No.
I wonder if they find boots with a blue puffy jacket. Just wondering. Fuck, work made me miss this. Jumbo.
I'm about to leave to go home, so I'll give you a call when I'm in the truck. So I'll call you back.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Hey.
She claimed she had a rib broken in the lawsuit. Just a broken rib. But she was jumping up and down. Was that not? Was that not what Leon said? Acting hysterical.
Yes. Yes, he did.
I've broken ribs before. It's not the most fun to jump up and down with broken ribs.
No, you can hardly breathe. You can't take a deep breath. I know that from personal experience.
Did we talk about the guy from Danforth that got busted? History of impersonating cops. Want more paperwork on that. Want a lot more paperwork on that. I didn't see a name. I saw a picture of a car. It came out at a very convenient time when the Mazda was getting scrapped. News of that was coming to light the exact same day. Let's see who he is. I want to see the charges in court filed. It's not to say it didn't happen. I just want to see it. After all these months, hey, Ozzy, and certain Facebook groups blocking and deleting people and posts because they had opinions about bashing Lisa as a victim. Maybe now people will wake up. I noticed the person who started that group, who may not be from Winnipeg, maybe from Ottawa. Just saying. Something to do with dog charities. Anyways, they have some interesting connections. Their account that started that is a fake account. But they've kind of changed their tune. I guess you can't go against the waves too much here. Handcuff story seems no longer. Well, it's still in there. It's just one hand, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. The crap hauled away smoldering buildings. I think they may have hauled away more than that, but that will come to light too. It wasn't even taped off when Indo Blue took all of his videos and photos. Odd. How strange.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put a comment in one of his videos lately and said, it's interesting that they let you get so close. Oh, yes, I should get into that at some point, but deleting comments from family members, not a good idea, especially if there's screenshots. Hello?
Oh,
Hey!
I'm back.
Welcome back. I was just mentioning about, I don't know, deleting family members' comments.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about that? I heard something about that. I think I took some photos of it. And the person even asked, I wonder how long it's going to be before you delete my comment. And then it got deleted.
Ah, yes.
Ouch. You really don't want to.
Sad state of affairs.
You don't want to attack the people that you're trying to save. You know, other ones I've seen are calling them names. That one's really bad.
Yeah. It's not a good look.
No.
That's for sure.
No, it doesn't look good at all. I notice when most people never say Wortman's name, they call him murderer. People don't say his name, remember victims instead. Well, we want answers. He's part of the story, would be he's absolutely part of the story. It isn't, that's a misnomer, and they sell people on that so that you forget about it. Yeah. You go into emotional sad state. You don't stay with angry what the fuck state. So
it's like the same thing as saying 22 instead of 23.
Yep. Turn it into a political issue. Turn things into political hot potatoes, divide people. It has nothing to do with that. Eye on the prize. What is it? The truth. And if a family's asked for that, or more than, I'm not saying whatever way, but if somebody's asked for that in that crowd, I feel that it's just proper respect to give them what they've asked for. They've already lost a lot.
Yeah.
But more than anybody should.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
Well, they like the political hot potatoes and the emotional ones that are buzzwords. The women beating or same thing. They run divisive campaigns all the time. There's divisive campaigns that run maybe in the Discord, just maybe, or in amongst chat. But if you just kind of slough it off and ignore it, it's really a nothing burger. Really pisses them off, because then they're not getting what they want, which is people fighting amongst one another. Everybody's unified on this one. 23 dead people need answers. And what the fuck did you do that led up to it? Not just what you did on the ground that night, what was going on beforehand. And what was your role in that, RCMP? Because they most certainly had a role.
I totally agree.
Not even a pine needle in her hair, says Jumbo. Something else to those tapes. At one point, ping Gabe's phone, but the phone connected to him. How would they know that she is still hiding, watching him? Ooh. See, these tapes are gold mine, and that is a disaster. That's why everything blew up, in my opinion. Just given what I've witnessed over years of researching this shit, they're very upset about those tapes because they know that people now are looking at them with a lot more, and they are. Martin and Associates, the family's investigators, is currently investigating the validity of those tapes. So how did they get there? If they're fake, how did they get there?
Because they were put in the system.
Who put them there? Who would have the audacity to sit? How many people sit around and in a living room and do that? Who would have the authority to do that?
RCMP.
Or other, or higher.
Yes, higher. Ottawa.
Yep. I'm not saying definitively that they are fake, but there is enough there to say absolutely, and there needs to be articles, etc., investigations conducted on them. Because if they're faking tapes, if those tapes are fake, you know, I'm going to do a separate video about it. But if they are fake, I encourage every single citizen in Pictou to launch a class action suit, to group together and launch several class action suits against the RCMP pension fund, because they placed the citizens of Pictou County at risk, violating the Moncton agreement that came down from the Moncton shooting, which said that they would have full encrypted radio systems. They agreed to that. They said they did by 2016. So if they didn't abide by it, then that puts Granny at risk in Pictou, who fell down between the hours of 12 and 3 because she wouldn't get ambulance service, or a house that burnt down. And frankly, I think if they get hit with a shit pile of lawsuits, they're going to have to either admit they're fake or go along with it. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a massive payout. Free money in Pictou.
I have a question about in one part of the statements there that you guys were reading. It was saying that the Mercedes was supposedly at the garage in Portland Street.
Yes.
Why has that never been found then, if that's where it was supposed to be?
I heard a rumor early on. Do you remember that, Steve?
Yeah.
About the return of a car in the middle of the night. I don't know if it was true or not. In the middle of the night, which was rather suspicious.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And the F-150. Now, in there it stated that it burnt, but in not one picture does it ever show the F-150 burnt. It only ever showed the supposedly mock police cruisers or whatever.
I'm sure it's because it had all the gas on it.
Later,
Yeah, in the back of it while they were driving.
Later, Blue Nose. Kendall posed an awesome question here. Sorry to interrupt here. I wonder if Lisa's hands were tested for gunshot residue.
Very good question, yes.
Sure hope so.
Just, does that mean that a woman or a man or anybody could just say, I'm a victim of domestic abuse, and that means they're no longer, nobody looks at them at all? Sorry, anyways, you were saying about the Mercedes.
Yes, so supposedly that's been found now?
I don't know. We don't know how many cars that actually have been recovered. There's certainly a bunch of them missing. More than just the F-150 and the Mercedes. I believe there's 1 to 2 more Tauruses that are missing. They never accounted for, you know, certain motorbikes that were there. I was researching Glenn Wortman's page. This is totally off topic, but I was researching his page again last night. And, you know, to be honest with you, between the 13 hours, which suddenly has new photos also, I love where these new photos are coming from. I don't know where. Let's just have a look at what Glenny Poo has on his page, because it's changed over time. Glenn Warty, he likes to go by. He comes and goes. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. This is him. Now, I was looking at these photos, and they're all submitted on the same day, which is July 3rd, 2015. Okay, the account appears to be inactive, at least publicly. The last post is 2013 in Portapic. So we get this photo, which appears to have some kind of a signature at the bottom of it. It's been in a wallet. It's a scanned photo. I don't know if it's a license photo or something that he had. I guess he liked it. And then he also put up this photo, which is rather strange. He's looking to be carrying a sign or something. This is the strangest photo I've ever seen. Over 2/3 of the picture is house. What's going on the lower part here? This also posted July 3rd, 2015. Let's see, when did we get a time? 7:20 a.m. When did he post this other one here?
Early riser.
7:21 p.m. 7:21 a.m. Just these strange photos. And then this third photo of himself. Oh, they took it down. Here it is, this yellow one. This is also 7:39 on July 3rd, 2015. And he's got, I think, because it used to have, maybe it had 4 photos, as I recall. But there's a conversation in here that's got, let's see, where is it? Sorry, give me a moment. I think it's the bear. Yeah, it's actually the bear. One of the 2 bears. Here we go. Oh, get the fuck. Yeah, here it is. Oh, fuck right off. Is it gone again today? Jeff Samuelson is here. There was a comment about Brenda, of course, because they all go on vacation together.
Interesting.
So one has to wonder how they're going on vacation together if Jeff Samuelson only came once. Robin Lee deleted her Facebook. Where is the post about? I got a picture of it on my phone, though. You gotta be speedy and take pictures of this shit. Otherwise,
it disappears.
Yeah. Let's see if I got it on my phone still. Sorry, Steve. I'm going to walk on you on the phone because I need to use the screen. Glenn Wortman. Let's see here. I like that. Glenn Wortman with Glenard Warty. Don't know who the lady is. Perhaps that's Robin Lee. Where is it here? Yeah, see, like this photo apparently came from Facebook. They scraped that. Wasn't given to them by Glenard. They scraped it from Facebook. But as you can see, there's no photo of this online. This is from 13 Hours. But there was the comment about the traveling and the vacation, which I think really sheds a light on. Here we go. Okay, I can't zoom in here, but let's see, we can do this probably. Okay, if we scroll down here. Okay, Jacques Wortman. He said, okay, we almost got a foot here, and I was watching the Atlantic radar imagery because I knew you and Robin, that's Robin Lee, and Jeff Samuelson were traveling. Sorry?
And where would they be traveling to?
Jeff Samuelson and Robin Lee only came to Portapique one time, according to Brenda. And they said, like, oh, it was so terrible, they had to leave, according to Brenda. And then the next sentence, I believe, was Jeff Samuelson declined to comment. I think Brenda's full of shit.
Very much so.
There was a. So there's. Do you know anything about down there, or do you want to talk about anything down there?
About Portapique?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't care. I've nothing to hide.
Maybe that's for another day.
Okay,
but
it's up to you.
But you know, like, sorry.
I was just going to say, let's just say that I have met Brenda. I have met a few of them from down there. And what Brenda has been saying, I wouldn't take it with a grain of salt.
Yes. Seemed to be, I liked how the angle of that, let's see, where is that? There's a picture. Oh, hello, Linda. Thank you for the email. There was a picture from balls. Almost a technical error. Oops. I can still do it, I think. Okay, so this is the lovely home, the Zoll home, which was formerly Brenda and George Forbes' house. You can kind of see, let's see, is my finger going to do the wrong area? Up here, you can kind of see a white, again, where did they get these pictures? Not exactly sure, but you can kind of see the white rim there above the hedge. That would be the hot tub.
Exactly. Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Of the infamous hot tub parties. Brenda?
Bingo, bingo.
People like hot tubs out there?
Oh, well, they did. Well, Brenda did. The Zolls, I don't know.
No, I think that the hot tub was, I believe, ripped out, from what I understand. But people did go to the hot tubs.
Yes, they did.
Many people.
Very interesting people.
Wouldn't trust her with a glass of water, and did interesting things at the hot tubs. Let alone to tell the truth, shaking like that. Oh, she was bad. Personal security. Brenda is always so shaky.
A lot of people really, really shake if they're telling lies.
Yeah. People have tells.
Yes. And they do not look you in the face neither most of the time.
Yep. I wonder if I reach out to Brenda, what she's going to say. Did you try to reach out to Brenda, Steve?
Oh, yes, and she's totally ignoring me, if you mean me.
Oh, okay. You did try to reach out to her?
Certainly did. I mean, she knows me, so.
Did you try and reach out, Steve?
I don't know if I did or did not.
Hmm.
I'd have to check the files there and see if I did or didn't. I don't think I did, though.
It says that she has. Jumbo says they think. I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I should be very careful. Jumbo says they think that that Brenda has Parkinson's. Brenda disclosed that she had PTSD or something even terrible, and that was why she had the dog. One would think she might have mentioned that she had Parkinson's.
Yes, because I believe she has a service dog, correct?
Yes, but it's for support for the PTSD.
But the dog should also be for her Parkinson's, because I have a friend that has one that's a very bad diabetic.
So do you think that Brenda has Parkinson's?
I don't know, because I haven't seen her in a few years.
I guess here's a good question, too. The Brenda that we see in the videos, is that legitimately Brenda?
Yes, that is a good question.
I don't know if I've seen what videos are you talking about? Do you have one that I could see?
Yeah, for sure. I think I sent you a picture of an old picture of her.
Yes, that's her.
That is her? Okay.
Yes.
Parkinson's looks like PTSD. PTSD looks like Parkinson's sometimes. Okay.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just reading the comment. I guess they don't mind it at wherever she works down in Washington for that ultra sketchy group.
When did she move there?
Oh, she's been working for a place out of Washington for the last 20 some odd years.
Oh.
Yeah, she got to, let's see if we can find that.
Where'd she go to school? Germany.
And University of Alberta, as I recall. She graduated from high school in Germany. She was an military brat.
A lot of families were there. Port-a-Pic were military brats.
Nova Scotia guy enlightened me right away as the name. Where is it here? Brenda. Where is Brenda? Here we go. Brenda gets her own file. Oh, she's got a few things here. Ooh, Brenda. I like how she reported stuff to her commanding officer. And oh, what's this one? Oh, see, here's something. See? Here we go. Brenda, here's the picture changing. Brenda says, finally cut the grass. I'll laugh out loud. Brenda.
How could she cut the grass if she has Parkinson's? I know people that do that.
Well, this is back in 2013. I don't think this photo is there anymore. Is this photo still here? He likes to play with the photos. I guess that's the, what is it? Level 5 dementia going on? Is that what it was? Are you laughing?
Yes.
I'm not laughing.
I know.
I don't think it's funny. I think lying is pretty sick. It bothers me a lot.
Lying is very sick.
Especially in this case. Let's see if we can find Warty.
Well, I would love to stay longer, but I actually just got home and time to go put the kiddos to bed, so.
Okay.
If you're still on when I'm done, I will be back, but I highly doubt you will be.
Okay.
But thank you, everyone, for joining in, and none of your business. It was great to talk to you.
You have a good night, Steve.
You too. Cheers.
All right, buddy.
Cheers.
Yeah, I probably should go too here. My girlfriend's going to get pissed. See, now, this Facebook post was there with Brenda's comment. I don't know when I took this screenshot. Taking screenshots and archiving, very important. Somebody in here in the chat today was, mentioning how they archive everything, and I'm like, we thank you ever so much, because I do, because I love to find articles that I can't because they delete them and they change them just because.
Just like emails have been disappearing.
Emails have been disappearing. So this picture does not appear on the Facebook now. The side profile of the house, or the 45-degree angle. Where did that go here? Oh, is this it here? Oh, sorry. My apologies. Here it is. My apologies. It is still there. So, I mean, Brenda, and this is the Brenda. Can't breathe. With nothing to show. But if you talk about her, expect things to change. This is why it's important to screen grab.
I have a question
things.
for you.
Mm-hmm.
You keep showing a house there with the veranda on the front and the two sets of stairs coming down.
Yes.
That's Delaney's place, right? That is not.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, that's not Brenda's house, or was Brenda's house, or whatever.
No, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, no, So
that was the one that Ward, whatever he wants to, Glennie, whatever he wants to go by. That was the one that the big feud between him and Gabe was over. Correct.
Correct. I would like to see the legal paperwork on this, but I need to establish. Thank you, Oh dear. Oh dear, in the house. Please subscribe to their channel right below. Amazing work. Yeah, it's Glenn's house, but I would like to know his birth date. I've been trying to get that. And if anybody does know, just as anything else, please let me know. The tip line or whatever tip email thing is down below too. Because I want to request I believe I was told that I need the birthday from another very kind person in here to obtain the court records, because I want to know what he was charged with prior and what he was convicted of, that he apparently did time at Spring Hill, number one, and number two, that Al Bejan defended him on the court case regarding the house with Glenn. So if I can get those court records, then we can figure out what is Glenn all about. I didn't know Al Bejan was a civil lawyer, but that, I don't know, who knows. So George, he's living in Bass River, right? And if you go over to Brenda, this is George. You gotta find the medals. She's very proud of her medals. This is still back in an old video. You can actually look at the 12729, a live stream I did, where I actually went to, on August 22nd, Morneau, RCMP, and BBF, 12729 second mark. You can see where it says Brenda Bow Forbes. They living in Bass River. Bass River makes sense. George lives there, same husband name. But they altered that shortly after that video to say that she lives in Camrose. Sorry, I put the mouse over top. So there you can see the two different ones, Bass River. And then as soon as I made that public, they decided to go and change it to Camrose. But she works for this interesting company called Independent Sector, which doesn't sound like anything, but it is actually something. So if you look up Independent Sector, I think I may have a screenshot of that. Independent Sector books. Here's the Independent Sector here. And here she's graduating from Lar High School. I guess she graduated quite a bit later. She didn't. I didn't even know. I'm trying to. That was funny because Lar doesn't do an adult program to the best of my knowledge, but I guess she must have graduated as an adult. But if you look up Independent Sector, there's the emblem, and it's based out of Washington, D.C., located in Washington, D.C. And it has quite a interesting history. So I'm not sure where she gets all of her badges from because she doesn't acknowledge that she worked in the military at all. But she has some pretty heavy hitting friends like, where is it here? What's his name? All these medals, of course, which are only in the military. PPCLI, I believe she was. Where's the guy who recommends her? He's a major heavy hitter. I'll pull it up over here. Oh, that's not her. Okay. What? Oops. Helps if I can spell. There we go. Still in Camrose, I guess. Brenda recommends awesome. I don't know what the hell that means. Andre Levesque. Look at this guy. Andre Levesque gives her recommendations. Wow. That's quite a raft of medals. I'm surprised he's not falling over. He's pretty serious duty. He's not small time. Not a grunt, shall we say. OMM. Officer of OMM. OMM is it? Oh, that's not mom. That's isn't it mom? Officer of OMM. That's merit. Title.
So was it Stephen Zink that owned the house before?
Oh, really?
That's what I'm reading now. It said, when Stephen Zink heard on the news that Gabriel Wortman had gone on a killing spree in Nova Scotia, he wasn't surprised. He was surprised, but not that surprised.
Now, sorry?
I was just reading that for you.
Steve?
Zink used to own a body shop. He fell on hard times in 2004 and needed money. Wortman offered to help, which was a big mistake. Before long, Zink was evicted from the house his father built and his contents were sold off. Somehow in the paperwork, he got it and owned the house. He just sucked me right in.
Now, Steve Zink, right? It's pronounced Steve Zink.
Zinck.
Steve spoke to Steve Zink, I believe. I never like to quote other people when I have access to them, but I believe Steve spoke to him and asked him if, and it was not a good parting between Zink and Wortman. As I recall, he basically lost his house, but he lost everything in the house too. And the police showed up, and he was selling it at a garage sale or something out of the parking lot at the denture clinic. And Steve Zink is, losing his shit because all of his belongings, everything except for what he's wearing, is going out the door. He's lost his house. He's lost everything. And the police chastised him and said that they were going to arrest him. But beyond that, Steve asked Zink, who was clearly familiar with Wortman and also equally familiar with Wortman and equally has would have quite a large axe to grind against this man. I mean, he took everything. He had to rebuild his entire life. And he asked him if he thought, I believe, if he thought that Wortman, he could see Wortman doing this. And he said, no, I never saw a violent streak in this man at all. I never saw any of that, which frankly was really, really shocking. So I don't know if Wortman, totally went off the deep end, but there may not have, I don't know if there was this history with at least Zink. Seemed questionable. Zink wasn't in Portapique? Oh, okay. Zink is a cowboy. Oh, he's from Cow Bay? Why did they write then that he owned the house originally?
God, his uncle built it.
Uh-oh. Somebody's lying. The media doesn't sound very good here, possibly. Is there any way that we can verify that, Kate Breton?
Zink is related to the Banfields.
Yes, there is Zink. That's mother. What is it? Mother's maiden name is Zink. Grandma also not so good. That's a big family. Big family. Ontario with Paul Palazzo.
And one of them recently moved to Port Elgin, New Brunswick.
Probably doesn't help that they use flat key. Am I missing Todd's? Oh, here. Because if there's some way to prove, I'm not saying that you're a liar or anything. If there's actual documentation, that is excellent. But they have been running all kinds of games with people, so I'm wondering if that's possible too. Flat key.
Fleet Key.
Fleet Key. Sorry, Fleet Key. You saw a video of Paul Palango talking about what? Brenda? That's news. I don't know anything about zinc. And anyways, if zinc gas card. Okay, so he had a gas card?
I find it hard to believe that Zink said that he didn't think he'd do that, because in one thing here it does say Zink told police that he wasn't his only victim, and that's what he calls himself, that he's done the same to others. But Zink was he couldn't afford a lawyer, so he was told to move on and forget about Gabriel Wortman, about the police.
Yeah, no, and that's what he said on the phone. But when asked if he could see this in Gabe, he said he didn't, which frankly, I thought, I was like, at the time, I mean, none of it made sense at the beginning anyway. When I just, you know, we all sat down and just kind of started talking about it, looking at the numbers and distances. And for those of you who are just joining this channel for the first time, right? So there's, or recent, there is 380 about people that have been working really tough. 4 YouTubers started with just 4 and grew from there. And now, you know, there's what, 100 and some odd videos on this channel that are done to that, plus lots and other places. So 120 Cow Bay Road. Oh, I like the use of Cow Bay, boy. 1200 Cow Bay Road. Is that what he told you, Steve? I didn't want to make a mistake. Maybe you can help bring us up to speed, because I don't like to misquote somebody. 12.
It's funny how all these stories come out by Global, isn't it?
Oh, everything comes from, not everything. sorry. It is a bunch of, they're all together, but Global is particularly bad. That's why they need so many podcasts and, yeah, people, they're pushing the story hard. I hope they get a lot of money, and I hope that it's worth it, because you're going to pay hard. I think
Gabe has quite a history with the RCMP, because, I mean, this is from way back, how many years ago that this happened to Zink, and he's family.
He said sheriffs told Gabe had done before. Uh-oh, did I get this wrong? I could have sworn he said he wasn't angry about it. Or, sorry, he didn't see that side of Gabe. Zink owns father's house in Mineville. What the fuck? Now he's got 3 houses? I wondered he lost one. But I thought he had to move to, didn't he move to Edmonton, Steve, or something? Or
Yeah, Alberta somewhere.
that he wasn't afraid of Gabe. But did he see Gabe get? Is that what they quoted him? I was pretty sure it was something that they misquoted or misattributed to him. I looked at wrong text. No, just one in Mineville. Okay, is there some proof of that? Maybe we can. Sorry, coffee done. Major problem. Oh, cigarettes done too. Major problem. So good. Got just cartons and cartons of smokes. Thank you to my special. We light a smoke. We're not going anywhere. Uh-oh. Might be in the public domain under an other address. Steve is right. My bad. I'm just getting here in my messages. Okay, no worries. No worries. I'd like to just make sure I got everything 100%. I don't like to say things wrong. Maybe Steve will beat me up. That wouldn't be nice. May 3rd, 2000.
I think Steve would win.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. My heart is full of kindness. I definitely lose. May 3rd.
Fist on.
Sorry?
I was going to say fist on fist. Yeah, I think you would. Maybe. Who knows?
Probably. I'll just leave it alone. Steve's a friend.
Yes.
2004, Steve Zink's property dispute with Gabriel Wortman resulted in him losing in the Mineville, Nova Scotia. Ooh. In the Star. So there's no way that he lost 2 homes. Okay. So, sorry, where did the Steve Zink... Steve Zink didn't live in Portapique then?
Oh, okay. They kind of implied that in Global.
No, they kind of imply a lot of things. A lot of things, great things come out of Global.
And I was searching Glenn Wortman, and that came up, which was weird.
To the Forbes recruiting officer in Saskatchewan. Interesting. I don't think we're going to get anything on her. I wasn't able to find anything, I don't believe. And now that we're saying it, it's going to have to be done immediately. Otherwise, it'll go poof. Oops. Not Forber. Huh? You got a BL Forbes Corporal. That number's too early, I think. What is it? 32784. God, this is small. 75 to 98. E division. She's got a lot of medals, though. So she'd be in the military. Were all those metals? I can't remember. Were all those metals traceable to military? Was it just military? Because a lot of metals you can get in both services. Sorry?
And you can get medals if you belong to legions.
I traced these metals. Where did
you?
Where did I put it? Where did I put her medals? Independent sector, yeah, Washington. I thought I had all her medals in here. Independent sector, of course. The CEO of Independent Sector is a guy named Hines. And Hines is Stephen B. Hines. Also, Rockefeller Brother Fund. Interesting. Note, not going tinfoil, but that's what he does. He works for both corporations or whatever swampy things. I don't know where most of Brenda's medals are joint RCMP issue, but who says they're hers? Could be her husband's or joint scream grab.
And
sorry?
They could be her parents too, if she was born in Germany and from a military family.
She does appear, let me see, I have, here we go, the Patrician in 2010. She appears in that. Here, so if we do a search for Forbes, secretary, so this is the Atlantic branch, so she still lives down there in 2010, which is, yes. Assistant Secretary Treasurer Brenda Forbes, wife of CWO George Forbes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I found some other appearances of her. The one that I found very interesting was when let's see if I can duplicate it. You have to do it. So if you put Brenda Forbes, because she lives in Camrose, right? Brenda Forbes, in quotation marks, you do a search, then you do tools. Oh, sorry, Camrose. Brenda Forbes. And then you do tools, anytime, custom range, and you do up till April. Actually, yeah, do it like this. Plus, I think it's plus. April 21st, 2020. Okay, she's appearing in the Camrose Booster, which is a paper. Here she is in the Patrician, which I just showed you. I don't believe this is the same Brenda Forbes. If you look. Nova Scotia Police. May, okay. So you have to do, sorry, that was the way you do it. Do a search before April 19. Because she does appear in the Camrose Booster quite a bit if you do a regular search. You see? She doesn't appear. But after April 19th, so if you do a custom range search, starting date April 20th to current, where is it? Start date to, no, there's more appearances than that. I know that anytime. Oh, in earlier videos you can watch, I do it. And there's a bunch of them that come up, but they're only after. She was doing some runs. How about if we do Camrose Booster? April 21st, April 20th. Sorry?
I don't think you're. I was just reading some of the comments on the side there, and someone was saying that they thought that Zinc had a body shop lost to GW, and they thought the guy's name was Zinc.
Oh, okay.
He had a service station near Portland Street too.
I'm terribly sorry, but I'm going to have to cut this off. I should have quite some time ago. But I do appreciate none of your business joining us tonight. Thank you ever so much. Thank you to all of you for your continued hard research. And
we'll just let Tara and the rest of the families know we are not giving up on this.
That's right. And there's 5 more warrants to go through. So we'll go through those and hopefully, you know, but then at least you guys can rewind and go back. I don't have the share thing right now. So, but at least it's online. You can look at it and watch it. You don't have to listen to my crap. You just fast forward and pause. Anyway, do have a super night.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. God bless everybody.
Stay